Happy Holy Day, Moors, and welcome to House of Reawakening Minds. House of Reawakening Minds exists to provide for exploration and practice of spirituality in an enlightened community dedicated to the honoring the myriad of sacred pathways to the universal creator. We are a holistic center for spiritual grounding, free thought, self-discovery, and Moorish science, an awakening experience for all ages. Tonight, we are pleased once again to have with us our lecturer for the night, our grand etymologist, Brother Abdullah Bey.
Islam, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Veda Makeup. In response, Veda Makeup coming to the light. Response, Beyond, I shall come.
Beyond.
So, tonight's presentation is titled Moorish National Sovereignty versus Sovereign Citizen Movement. Right? Moorish National Sovereignty versus Sovereign Citizen. There's a report that's been out since 2000 that's been disseminating to all police departments all over the country since 2009. It's the Regional Organized Crime Information Center Special Report. And on the front cover, Moorish Nation Sovereign Citizen Movement. Brother Kawaza, I just remembered, he actually had a link on my website. He shared it to my Facebook page, Abdullah Bey. Abdullah Bey. He shared it to Abdullah Bey, my Facebook page, Abdullah Bey. I have two of them. And you could actually click on that link, and it'll take you to the report. Here's the report. I didn't know that there was I just saw that there was a PDF file, but he actually found the link and put it on shared it to my page. That's something I just remembered. So I'm going to read page 20 of the report. Let's analyze this. Bureau of Justice Assistance, U.S. Department of Justice. The ROCIC, that's the Regional Organized Crime Information Center. This publication was supported by grant number 2008-RS-CX-K005, awarded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance, Office of Justice Programs, U.S. Department of Justice. The Office of Justice Programs also coordinates the activities of the Bureau of Justice Statistics, the National Institute of Justice, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency, and the Office for Victims of Crime. This document was prepared under the leadership, guidance, and funding of the Bureau of Justice Assistance, BJA, Office of Justice Programs, U.S. Department of Justice, in collaboration with the Regional Organized Crime Information Center, ROCIC. The opinions, findings, and conclusions or recommendations expressed in this document are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official position or policies of the U.S. Department of Justice. Regional Organized Crimes Information Center and ROCIC are protected by copyright laws. So let's analyze this. This report was done under the guidance, leadership, and funding of the Justice Department. Now you see this disclaimer here. Listen to a disclaimer. The opinions, findings, and conclusions or recommendations expressed in this document are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official position or policy of the U.S. Department of Justice. It's done in collaboration. It was done under the leadership, guidance, and funding. Now, the question I have, by what authority was this report disseminated to all police departments in the country. By what authority? By whom and what authority was this court disseminated? It has here disseminated, restricted to law enforcement. Restricted to law enforcement. They used this report and based their views on the Moorish movement from this report and other reports. Now, question: what is the Moorish nation? We're going to focus on this report. We're going to be bouncing. What is the Moorish nation? Anyone who's listening? What is the Moorish nation?
Sovereign. First of all, it's
Sovereign or what?
sovereign nation. Sovereign nation.
As a sovereign nation. All right. So let's take the mic. Thank you.
It's a sovereign nation.
It's a sovereign nation. All right. The Moorish nation is a sovereign nation. All right. All right, I'll ask another question. Where is the Moorish nation?
Morocco. So Morocco? No, Morocco.
Where is the Moorish nation?
Morocco.
All right. Give him the mic, please. He just answer the question. Brother, take the mic. Yes. Yes. So where is the Moorish nation?
Morocco.
Where's Morocco?
It's America.
No. That's
America? I mean, in America. In Cook. I think I'm pronouncing it right.
Where's it? Hookah. Where's that?
Right here, we standing
All right.
on the land.
All right. So the Moorish nation is. The Moorish nation is in America. All right. Another question. Where is the capital of the Moorish nation?
Philadelphia. Pennsylvania.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is the capital of the Moorish nation. Where is the Moorish nation's national sovereignty exercised? Like what?
Washington, D.C.
All right. So the Moorish land. So at Philadelphia, they don't do any legislation as far as like Congress is not there. Congress is not at Philadelphia. Like so, if there is a bill that's passed now, that's not coming out of Philadelphia. Where is the Moorish Oval Office?
Washington, D.C.
Yeah, it's definitely not in Philadelphia because it's Donald Trump. I mean, we can't go to Philadelphia and see Donald Trump unless Donald Trump, is at Philadelphia at that time. But it's not like where the office where he sits is not in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Let me say this, brother. All right, I've heard that before, and I need us to be clear, y'all. And please hear me out. We need to be very clear by saying Philadelphia, because that's still a disconnect by saying Philadelphia, because you're not connecting to the national sovereignty, because the national sovereignty, no one in Philadelphia, no natural person in Philadelphia is exercising the national sovereignty. The Congress is not there. Like if I were to go to something, just being very detailed, y'all. We've got to be detailed. Just hear me out. Don't raise your hands right now. Do not raise your hands. I'm listening, I'm watching C-SPAN. And watching, it says House of Representatives. Where's that? Like we're watching C-SPAN. Where are the cameras at? Where are the camera crew? Like we're watching C-SPAN. It says and there's 435 seats. And the camera crew, watching TV. Is that at Philadelphia? The camera crew's not in Philadelphia, right?
Right.
All right. So when we conveying this to someone who doesn't know, hear me out. Always have in mind that you're talking to someone who doesn't know. The reason I have this mindset because I was in the schools and I was dealing with unconscious Moors every day. 99% of the people I was dealing with were unconscious of the Moorish history that would include some Europeans. So I had a great opportunity to teach unconscious Moors every day. So I had to be specific and clear in what I was saying. So, going back to the original question, what is the Moorish nation? So some of us are clear that the Moorish nation is the actual nation that's being run by the United States corporation in a trusteeship capacity. I'm asking another question. Who is the head of the Moorish nation?
There ain't no head yet.
All right, let me repeat myself, please. Let me repeat myself. The Moorish nation is being run by the United States corporation in the trusteeship capacity. I'm asking a question. Who is the head of the Moorish nation?
President.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now we get clear. Donald Trump. Donald Trump wears two headdresses. Since George Washington. So he's Donald Trump. Donald Trump is what? President of the United States Corporation, right? Or CEO. President, CEO of the United States Corporation. All right, so that's what? The Pilgrim hat. All right, that's the Pilgrim hat. And Pilgrim means what? Foreigner. Comes from the Latin peregrinus. Pereg is genus. Foreigner, stranger. So Donald Trump is a foreigner. I mean, he's not native, aboriginal, in a distance to the land. So that's it. That's the Pilgrim hat. What other headdress does he wear? The Moorish fez. So Donald Trump is what? The acting Moorish Grand Vizier. Or the acting Vizier. Alright? So he's the acting Vizier. The Grand Vizier. So this is the fez. This is the Moorish fez. So Donald Trump, and he's wearing this at all times. And that's been since 1979. Since 1979, the Europeans have been wearing two headdresses. The Pilgrim hat and the Moorish fez. We have to be very clear that this is our Moorish government. We gotta object to this. Moorish nation is a collection, that's in the report. This is defined in the report. The Regional Organized Crime Information Center Special Research Report. The Moorish Nation is a collection of sovereign citizen organizations. And you know how they're defining sovereign citizen? Anti-government, domestic terrorists, organization that doesn't respect or obey, think they're above the law, do not respect federal or state laws, don't respect law enforcement. So that's the definition. So that is slander. I'm speaking out against it. I'm writing an open letter to the Attorney General, CC, and to the FBI agent, head of the FBI, Homeland Security, the Secretary of Defense, and Secretary of the Department of the Interior, addressing issues in this report. We have to take this very seriously. But we have to first be clear on what the Moorish Nation is. Unfortunately, a lot of nationalized Moors are not clear on what the Moorish Nation is. I'm glad that you are. This has been the first, honest with you, I've been at Cleveland, Columbus, Ohio, Detroit, Chicago, Plaza, New York, many times, Plaza, Philadelphia, many times, even here. This is the first group of nationalized Moors that I'm in the presence of that has a clear focus on what the Moorish Nation is. Give yourself a hand. I am highly impressed. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to, if it's not, it weren't true, I would never say it. I don't say things just to impress. We got to get Moors throughout the country to reach your level. If Moors throughout the country are on at least your level of what the Moorish Nation is, then we can move forward. They got they are at least on your level. Yes.
Well, who would be classified as a sovereign citizen?
All right.
Since it's out there.
All right.
Since the energy is out there.
Great question. Who are actually the sovereign citizens? Once again, they define sovereign citizens as anti-government, those who don't respect law enforcement, those who think that federal and state laws don't apply to them. So who do you think the sovereign citizens are?
First of all,
Answer the question first.
we are the Moors are the sovereign citizens.
All right, hold on. Let me stop there. So the Moors are the sovereign citizens.
Was the Moorish Nation.
The sovereign citizen. You didn't say sovereign.
Not citizen. Take the word citizen out.
Oh, all right. No, but then you didn't answer the question. I mean, that's not the question. The question is not who are the sovereigns. That's not the question.
Okay.
The question is who are the sovereign citizens. That's the question. Who are the sovereign citizens? Not who are the sovereigns.
Okay.
So answer the question. Who are the sovereign citizens?
I don't know either. I don't know.
All right, that's fine. All right, that's an answer. You don't
I
know.
don't know either.
All right.
Oh, but I did want to add that their behavior right now is considered as treason.
No.
That's all. When you say their name is
Back up. No, we're not going to use. Let's not use personal pronouns. Let's not use personal pronouns. They, their, possessive case.
Well, the people who we are in
Yeah,
the treaty
we're
with.
not saying don't use personal pronouns because it's not specific.
Okay, the United States of America, its leadership, if they don't acknowledge the treaty of peace and friendship, then it's considered as treason.
All right. What else are they not acknowledging? Enforcing. Constitution.
The law.
The law of the land.
Yeah, the law.
The law of the land. Those who are sitting, the 535, there's 100 senators and 435 representatives. That's 535. They are the sovereign citizens. They are the lawbreakers.
Thank you for clarifying that.
They're the lawbreakers. they're using the Moorish sovereignty and the Moorish offices to push their private agenda. They have the people as stock on the stock market. They are the ones, all right, now, those Europeans, you have those 535, 100 senators, and 435 representatives, also has some Supreme Court justices. They've been the ones to classify Moors as well as Europeans who push for the enforcement of the Constitution. All right? One of the points that Moors as well as Europeans, all right, Article 1 of the United States Constitution, Section 10. Congress should have the power to coin money. Congress shall have the power to coin money and to determine. So I just want to be something specific. I don't like them. We're not dealing with generalities.
You put paper into the power.
All right. What's that?
Have the paper.
The paperwork.
You put paper
Power.
into the power.
Oh, power. Thank you.
Power.
Thank you. Yes. I do not want to be general. So I'm using something specific. Congress should have the power to coin money to determine the value. Thereof. All right. Europeans who are falsely labeled as sovereign citizens, and Moors who are falsely labeled as sovereign citizens, push this. We push the enforcement of this. So, United States Attorney General, FBI, hope you're listening. Homeland Security, CIA, hope you're listening. I push the enforcement of this. On what? Say it. On what? I didn't hear you. You're not saying it loud. On what?
Push the enforcement.
No, I'm talking to Homeland Security and FBI, CIA.
Okay.
Congress should have the power to coin money. Tell me, Attorney General, FBI, head of FBI, CIA, that it doesn't read that. Tell me, FBI, Homeland Security, tell me, FBI, Homeland Security, CIA, that if I say that this is not money, are you saying that I am a sovereign citizen? That's what I say the Constitution reads, Congress should have the power to coin money and determine the value thereof. I say that this is not money. You're going to call me what? Say it. You're going to call me what? You're going to call me a sovereign citizen. See what they're doing? So you have Europeans and Moors who've been falsely calling sovereign citizens, who, as an example, push the enforcement. What happened to Kennedy? What got Kennedy assassinated?
Went back to the gold standard.
Right, Kennedy was pushing to silver.
Silver.
He was pushing silver certificates. What they're doing, FBI, Homeland Security, CIA, is they're betting on, they're using propaganda. They know the masses of people are ignorant as to what the supreme law is. So they're using propaganda. Yeah. They're sovereign citizens. They don't respect law. Hold on. Moors never said, misrepresenting, that federal law doesn't apply to the Moors. When did Moors say that?
Never.
No.
That federal law doesn't apply to the Moors. When did Moors say that?
Never again. Ever.
Moors pushed for what?
Enforcement of the Constitution.
Constitution and Article 3 courts. The Supremacy Clause. Supremacy Clause, Article 6. Congress, Supremacy Clause, Article 6. You have the Article 3 courts. The diversity of nationality issue. So Moors never say that federal law doesn't apply to them. Moors do not say that the Constitution does not apply. They're talking about color of law. This is colored. Means what? Fake. Fiat. Counterfeit. In appearance. A simulacrum. And it's not money. Article 5. The state shall not make anything but gold and silver legal tender for the payments of all debts, public and private. Read it again. I'll quote it again. Article 5 of the United States Constitution. The state shall not make anything but gold and silver legal tender for the payments of all debts, public and private. That's why I'm being specific in certain areas. I cannot leave it to generality.
Very important.
So, FBI, Homeland Security, CIA, Justice Department, Attorney General. Am I a sovereign citizen for quoting that?
No.
Am I a sovereign citizen? Am I anti-government? Am I anti-United States Constitution for quoting Article 1, Section 10 of the United States Constitution, Article 5 of the United States Constitution? Am I a sovereign anti-government?
No. I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
When I can. What's your name, bro?
Abdullah.
I'm pleasant to meet you, Abdullah. My name is Harold.
All right, please, Harold.
I wanted to ask you a question. Did you know in 2017, the actual date was September 23rd, that the President of the United States made all of us sovereign independence? Are you aware of that?
What does that mean to you, brother?
It means nothing to me.
Yeah, but you just said,
It really does.
all right, hold
Does
on. No, hold on, brother. Hold on. Because you were talking as if it had meaning to you. Because you quoted, you said that.
Yeah, because the words that are being used, that's where the trickery is.
All right.
You know what I mean? So,
but I'm talking, what I was listening to is your tone, too. I was listening to your tone. And you were speaking with authority and confident on what you were saying. So that's why I was asking, what does that mean to you? Or are you just simply quoting something?
no. Well, I actually have,
I'm not, and let me stop you before you go on. I'm not putting you on the spot. What I'm doing, this is my style. And I'm challenging you to think about what you were saying. That's all I'm doing, brother. I'm going to do that regardless of what I do.
Okay.
Just challenge you to think about what you're saying.
Okay.
You spoke with authority on it.
Okay.
All right?
So what that means to me is that I'm free to follow the laws of the Constitution. Okay? And me personally, I am a sovereign principal under the United Nations and the United World, the World Universal World Court and Universal World Bank.
All right. So you did have a meaning attached to that.
Yes, sir.
I thought you did. That's what I'm saying. I'm listening, bro.
But I was just listening to what
all
you
right.
was
So let me all right. We gotta clear that up. Let's clear that up. I know that there are Europeans who are pushing the enforcement of the Constitution who have on their website, who have on, when they do YouTube, they do classes, they push, I am sovereign. We don't want to push that. You never want to say, we put on board. This is too important. This is too important. This is too important. All right, let's spend some time with this. This is too important. I know you got it from. But you didn't get that from Noble Jolly.
No.
You didn't get that from Noble Jolly. All right, because Noble Jolly never pushed that.
You never pushed that, but.
That. I'm talking about I am sovereign. This. You got this from Europeans. I already know where you got it from. You got this from Europeans. Quote, I am sovereign. What is the problem with this statement?
It's an individual when we a body.
Right, where's your nation? Listen, where is your nation? The nation is sovereign. You're not going to hear Chinese and Chinas walk around China and say, I am sovereign. What are they going to say? China is sovereign. You're not going to hear Japanese and Japan say, I am sovereign. What are they going to say? Japan is sovereign. You're not going to hear Nigeria walk around Nigeria and say, I am sovereign. They say what? Nigeria is sovereign. You got that from European freedmen groups. When you say, you don't want to say, quote, I am sovereign. Okay? You cannot carry this flag and say, I am sovereign. You have an established nation, an established national sovereignty that was established before Juali was born. Moorish national sovereignty was established before Juali was born. We are reclaiming the national sovereignty. You cannot carry this flag and say, I am sovereign.
Gotcha.
But it's like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's carrying the Moorish flag and he's saying, I am sovereign. Why is he, Abdullah, why is he not saying Morocco is sovereign? Why is he not walking around saying Morocco is sovereign? Abdullah, where do you get that from? Europeans. I know you got that from. Got that from European. You got that from European freedmen groups. They've been pushing that for over 30, 40 years, bro.
So I didn't get it from there, but
the information came from them. That thought, that I am sovereign, that whole, I'm going to say it again, you got it from them. That whole discussion of I am sovereign, when I hear nationalized boys say that, they didn't get it from Juali.
do you know who Dr. Henderson is?
No, I don't know who he is.
Because Juali and him, they have tapes and conversations on the radio that they have together. Was actually a guest on the show.
Know what Juali? Know what Juali said?
No,
I didn't say Juali.
I said that they have been together, spoken together. He has had him as a guest.
Know what Juali?
It's another Noble Jolly.
Oh! I can only go by what he's saying. I'm listening to what he's saying. So when he said Noble Juali, it threw me off. Because he didn't clarify it. Because I don't know to clarify because he said Noble Juali. So it's another, it's somebody you know whose name is Noble Juali. All right, thank you, brother. I don't know, bro. All right, so where did he get that from?
I don't know, brother, but I'm saying to you is the Universal World Court and World Bank, he is the head of that. He is the ad hoc judge for it.
What national sovereignty erected that? What national sovereignty erected that?
I can't answer that question, brother.
All right. I'm glad you're here, brother, because these points you're bringing out gives me opportunity to clarify these points.
Thank you.
So when I asked you, I got you, brother. But I got you. I should acknowledge you first since I got you. But let me, all right, I'm not gonna, so let me finish this. The question always should be, by what national sovereignty was that erected? Not that the World Universal Council exists. And by what national sovereignty was that erected? Japanese sovereignty? Nigerian sovereignty? English sovereignty? French national sovereignty? Chinese national sovereignty? English national sovereignty? By what national sovereignty? You say you don't know. I'm saying this so that you can clarify the issue for you.
Thank you.
I know that exists, but you need to ask them the question: by what national sovereignty by which you gain your authority? How do you gain your authority? To exist. Where's your national flag? And if it's an international body politic, the international body politic is what? Agreed upon by what? Sovereign nations. Through what? A charter. A charter, all right, i.e. League of Nations, then what? United Nations. And there's a charter that's signed by whom?
That's what it would be under United Nations.
No, not what it would be under. Is it under that?
United Nations.
All right, so look it up for me. Take your phone out. I want you to show us. I got you, brother. Brother, we got plenty of time.
No, no, I was just trying to get.
No, I know, but
Second.
I know. But I just, please, brother, please. I got you. Let me just finish this, because I don't want to break this thought pattern. We got plenty of time.
You know, we getting old too. I'll forget what I got.
All right. Please, somebody give him a pen, please. Dr. Nye, please. Dr. Naila, please give him a paper and pen. I was going to go by me, so I'm solving the issue. Give him a paper and pen. I want to write the question down. All right? I don't want us to assume anything. So, that means it's the United Nations. That means that nation states sign on to that. He said it's part of the United Nations.
Right.
That nation states.
It's an international organization formed in 1945 to increase political and economic cooperation among its member countries.
It's an attendant.
It's to increase political and economic cooperation among
Cooperation.
corporation. I said cooperation, corporation.
That's what I'm asking.
Sorry,
All
corporations among its members and countries.
right. All right. So it's part of the United Nations. It's a branch. All right. So part of the United Nations.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you clear on that. All right. All right. Go ahead, brother. What's your question?
Well,
Yeah.
Prophet used the word that he was a universal. The prophet used the word that he was a universal prophet, and I think that his brother Sam's on one end and Moors on another end, and we inching closer together to get that information that he possessed. They're using the same term, universal. And the prophet, I know, set the agenda for us, you know, to go and learn about these powers that
The universal laws.
the universal laws,
And
and
yes.
we move an inch towards those directions,
All right.
you know, and then the body politic will explain
Any other questions? Comments? All right. So are you clear on the statement, I am sovereign, and why we should not say I am sovereign?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right? Because the country is sovereign. So you have the sovereignty. So what happens is the individual, natural persons, extends their natural sovereignty, individual sovereignty to a national body. But that was already done before duality was born. Talk about a pre-existing sovereignty. So we're rising, and this is what the United States is exercising. This MOORS flag, Donald Trump is under this MOORS flag. Hillary Clinton is under this MOORS flag. This is the flag of the land. This is the national flag of the land. Donald Trump is the head of the Moorish nation. He sits at the highest office of the Moorish nation. So you have a corporation, United States corporation, and their members are sitting in the seats of the Moorish government. So when you look at C-SPAN, what are you seeing? You're seeing Europeans, members of the United States, all right, or substitute viziers that use the titles, representatives and senators. So senator is a council of elders. So you have the council of elders, and there's 100 of them. There's 100 council of elders, because the word senator means elder. So there's 100 council of elders, that's part of that council, and they're sitting in the seats of the Moors and exercising Moorish sovereignty. So it's not so kids. We're not separate from that. Yes, brother. You have a question.
Yeah,
I hear you.
I forgot to put your good stuff, but
So I want you to write it down.
how did that come to be? Oh, with the sovereign piece, not only the Congress and the Senate, all of them are sovereign, but the
Since you said something. You said something. You said that all of them are sovereign.
I say while they're representing this, body of sovereign people, also the electoral college is also a body of sovereign too. Where the rest of the people, the citizens, are not sovereigns.
All right.
So I don't know. I don't know. I'm just talking about that body, those groups of individuals who you already explained that they were representative of body politic of sovereigns, and I was just adding electoral college. Those people who they also know these things. So they get to choose the president and not the people.
All right.
Another thing is I want to point out is that Article 3 and how it came to be, the Article 3 and how the United States came to.
Can you hold that though, brother? Because you're throwing a lot out there, brother. Because I need you. Please, can you write that one down?
Oh yeah.
Because you're throwing a lot out there, and I gotta clarify it. I gotta clarify the things you're saying. All right. European freedom groups. That's that talk. European freedom groups again. That the body of members of Congress are sovereign. All right. Once again, the country is sovereign. The country is sovereign. Let's be very clear. First of all, those who are sitting in the seats are of European descent. of English, Irish, Scottish, French, Dutch, Welsh, German descent.
13 colonies, 13 colonies.
No. Hold on, brother. See, because you're throwing something else out, brother, and I got to get, because you're throwing a lot of misinformation out, and I can get you.
13 colonies?
No, brother. No. Thank you for that, brother. Absolutely not. The 13 colonies are European corporate colonial bodies. They're not sovereign. This is Moorish land. All right.
Well, I also mentioned
No.
Article 3
All
and how they came.
Brother,
Okay.
this follow me here.
All right.
This is your house. I know this is Dr. Naila's house, but can we allow this Dr. Naila? This is your house. Can I, and be honest, come to your house and go to the refrigerator anytime I want?
It's a violation.
Oh, you see how he's able to recognize it? You see how he's able to recognize it? You see how I use that example to get him to recognize it? So what you call the 13 colonies sovereign in your own land. How is the 13 colonies sovereign in your own land?
That's not what I meant or meant to say.
You said the 13 colonies are sovereign.
No, that's not what I meant.
Well, that's what you
I
said.
was
So tell,
Article 3 and them signing, I would have talked about the treaty.
but how are they sovereign though?
They're not. They're not. So I'll correct that. They're not.
All right, good. All right, good.
Because, we have the treaty of peace and friendship.
No. Well, that's not because that doesn't make us sovereign though.
I didn't say they would. I
Say
didn't say
because.
I took that back. I said how it came to be. I'm talking history. How this relationship with the Moors came to be with the Europeans. How the relationship developed.
With what?
With the Moors. How we developed a relationship with the colonies, the Europeans, when they came here. We let them on our land. We let them on our
That's
land.
not how it developed though. All right, let me. Once again, we're starting in 1774 as the beginning. We're using 1774 as a basis of our analysis. We got to keep in mind that we the Moors ruled the world. Our relationship with the Europeans did not begin on this land. In 1711, let's go back to 600s. What was Europe's condition in the 600s?
Uncivilized.
Deplorable.
Yes, deplorable. Well, yeah, not only the aristocrats bathed, and that was like once a week, if that. All right, you had the clergy had taught that it was an act of piety to not bathe. Yeah, this was taught. I know it seems so outrageous today. Then there were no bathhouses, very few public bathhouses. You had very few street lights. You had Europeans dying of diseases by the tens of thousands yearly. There were the Visigoths pleaded for the Moors' help because Roderick, the king of the Visigoths, had oppressed the people. So Tariq ibn Ziyad, general of the Umayyad dynasty, and so in 711, the Umayyad dynasty, headed by General Tariq ibn Ziyad, defeated Roderick and the Visigoths. But it was to provide aid. See, because you had Europe was ravaged with diseases. So It's not we as if we went there and destroyed and pillaged. What did we do? We civilized. Paved roads, bathhouses, marketplaces, libraries, bookstores, museums, fountains, cathedrals, mosques, horticulture, irrigation. This was not there. This was not something that was common there. We made education available and affordable to third-poor Europeans. So the Europeans' education did not begin here. The Europeans' education began in Europe. The Europeans, you say, well, the Europeans were ignorant. What time period? Because that's a general statement. I had to ask you what time period. If you're saying 1300s, you're wrong. They were not ignorant in the 1300s. They were not ignorant in the 1200s. They were not ignorant in the 1100s. They were not ignorant in the 10,000. Why? Because they had gone to more schools. So they had learned philosophy and, horticulture and astronomy and botany and irrigation. So you had in 1095, the European, Portugal, Aragon, France, Castile, Sicily, England, united their forces and established night orders to fight against the Moors. They launched their crusade, the first crusades in 1095. And 1095 to 1235, they fought. Crusades 1, 2, and 3. In 1235, we only had control of Granada, which we eventually ended up losing under the Treaty of Granada, November 25th of 1492. The Knights Templar and the Order of Christ was actually took over for the Knights Templar, were instrumental in defeating us and gaining control of Portugal. Henry the Navigator learned under the Moors. He went to Moorish schools and learned navigation from us. That's why they were highly skilled in navigation and astronomy, because they learned from the best with the teachers. So we got to make this connection here and not start with 1774. The Treaty of Peace and Friendship is not the beginning point of our analysis. The Europeans took over the spice trade from the Moors. The Moors had control of the spice trade, and I saw that we were able to fix prices. And also in a lavish silk trade with China. You talk about textile, paper mills and paper mills, textile industry. You talk about this tremendous wealth. So what they do in textbooks, they'll have a chapter called The Age of Exploration. They lie by omission, and they give you the false perception that they're exploring something. That they're establishing trade routes. What they left out is us. They took over the existing trade routes from the Moors and took over the spice trade from the Moors. How does it affect today? That wealth, that position of trading and power, they gained from us. There was a direct transition of power from us to them. How? By their defeating us. How did the Europeans come into world power and domination? By defeating the Moors. So we can't start our analysis with the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Give me this. Muhammad ibn. You didn't do. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I tried to start with that was just talking about peace and friendship treaty.
No, you said that. You said that's where it begins.
No, I didn't say that, because the relationship was already from Europe, and the Europeans were dealing with Britain and those 13 colonies that came here wanted to break away from Britain, and I wanted to say that the Moors helped them break away from Britain.
Father, the only reason I went through all that is because I heard you say that's where it began. A relationship.
I didn't say that.
That's the only reason.
Yeah, and that's why I wish I there was a misunderstanding, because that wasn't what I meant. And I'm just trying to learn, particulars, and I really recognize.
Yeah, Joseph, I'm going back because this is what they don't do in the textbooks. They don't do this in the textbooks. And when you're studying the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, you have authors who don't make that connection. I do. Authors do not make the connection. You have authors, European authors, who will write about the Barbary Wars and the diplomatic relations between the United States and Morocco in 1777. All right, but they don't talk about, see, it's as if they don't connect activity before 1777. It's as if it started in something, it's as if the relationship started in 1777. All right, keep in mind, I got the treaties in here. MOORS-MUURS-MOORISCH, I got the treaties in here. Treaties between England and Morocco in the 1600s. The treaties between England and Morocco protected the English merchants. You see what I'm doing? Going back. Before 1777. So you're looking at this protection that treaty between England and Morocco that protected the English merchants. There were tribute treaties. England had to pay us annual tribute to pass the high seas. So you have these European scholars, when they write about the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, they don't make the connection to that. This was a continuation. So the issue of the United States paying annual tribute to Morocco, this was a long-standing practice. Even George Washington, Thomas Jefferson was George Washington's Secretary of State. All right, it was called Secretary of Foreign Affairs. Thomas Jefferson had urged George Washington to put money up for defense. George Washington wanted to continue the 300-year European customary practice of paying Morocco annual tribute. See the connection? And you see why you can't start with 1770 with the Treaty of Peace and Friendship? I'm saying, don't start with the Treaty of Peace and Friendship.
All right, okay, I got you.
That's what I'm saying. Don't start with the Treaty of Peace and Friendship with your analysis.
Okay. That's where I was at.
All right, I know. Yeah, yes. All right. I have this in MOORS-MUURS-MOORISCH. All right. That's why I say don't start with that with your analysis. Right. So is that clear now?
Oh yeah.
That's why I went back. That's why I made the connection. Any other questions? This is good. I love this class. I mean, I'm having a good time. No, because why I'm saying that it is the questions and the comments that allow me to make things clearer. It's the engagement. So when I hear comments, it gives me opportunity to clarify. Because you're not the only one. Trust me, you're not the only one. Trust me, you're not the only one. Trust me, you're not the only one. People who are listening, you're not the only one. So please continue this pattern with me tonight. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to make comments. Please. Yes.
Yeah, but that's the reason why 2 or 3 people.
She has the mic.
You can finish up. You can finish up.
I'm just saying that anytime 2 or 3 people get together, and then we can spread that knowledge,
Yeah, we got a lot of listeners.
We got almost
yeah,
listening
right now. And then it can be recorded by the time it's done, it'll be more than that, a couple thousand, some more. And, right.
It's
Yes.
Can we go back? Can we rewind back just a little bit?
Oh, please.
You talked about the 535 seats of which
Yes.
the
Yes.
substitute, which the substitute senators and Congress members are sitting in those seats.
I love that you said.
So would that also mean that those seats are empty for the Georgia government?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, let me explain what she means. Because she's very clear. You want to expand on what you're saying?
Well, I think you
You
can
want me to
help.
do it? All right, I got it.
Yes,
Yes.
I don't wanna lose my,
I got
I
you.
don't wanna go off the rails.
All right, I got you. All right, we got House seats, Senator.
So,
Senate seat. Let me just put these up there. All right. All right, so what she's saying is they are, I know there's a couple Moors there. Maxine Waters is one of them, that's why I gotta qualify. All right, I gotta qualify, so I can't say that there aren't any Moors. So there aren't any nationalized, that's knownly nationalized. Maxine Waters, the people don't know her to be a Moor. Maxine Waters has never publicly told the people that she's a Moor. Maxine Waters tells you that she's what? Black. I'm just going to be very clear. You know what I'm saying. So, what Tara is saying, that there aren't any nationalized and conscious Moors sitting in any of these seats. Any of these seats. So the Moorish national sovereignty, all right, it's being exercised. It's not being exercised by what? Nationalized and conscious Moors. So you have the imposters. You have members of FBI. FBI has nationalized and conscious Moors like myself under surveillance, as if I'm a criminal. I'm anti-government. I'm a domestic terrorist. I don't respect law. All right? When this is the Moorish government, FBI, Homeland Security, please hear me out, CIA, there are 206 shrine temples. Ancient Arabic order of the nobles of the Mystic Shrine, established in 1871. 1871. Today, there's 206 shrine temples throughout the world. They no longer use the name Ancient Arabic Order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine. They now use the title Shriners International. So you have these Shriners have an annual parade in different Moorish areas, territories, every year. And Shriners, Europeans from all over the world, from these 206 shrine temples, all right, they have representation, they have a float. Each shrine temple has a float. Whatever that city is in that year. I was at one of them, 2013. 20 blocks. They're a line of 20 blocks. Because you gotta line up. In the procession, you gotta line up before you till you get your turn to go. 20 blocks. So I walked 20 blocks. Take 20 blocks. They're wearing what? Moorish fairs. What did that little girl say that I was standing next to in 2013? I was live streaming. Or Ustream. I was Ustream. And she says, "Look, mommy." She was about 5 years old at the time. "Look, mommy, they're wearing the Shriner's hat." That little girl, who is what? 6 years old, that's about 11 years old now. She'll say to me, Mister, you got the Shriner's hat on. You got our brothers who are Shriners, or even call it the Shriners. They don't call it the Moors Fest. Our brothers are smoked in the head. I love you, my brothers. I dedicate this book to you. Smoked in the head. Confusion. They refer to it as, and Tamara can bear witness, on Monday. Matthew, on Monday, brother comes in, walks in, going for a taping, commercial taping, interview. He walks in, he says, "Oh, I got one of those." I was well, Moors Fest. I said to him, "Oh, yeah, this is yours by birthright. It's your Moors Fest by birthright, not by organization affiliation." So, I mean, of course, it probably went over here. Then he came over to me, while I was doing the setting up for the interview. And he gave me his number. I gave him a past issue of Masonic Gate, which will actually be out in a week, hopefully a week or two. Todd, so we better get your article done. Todd, get your article done. Now I'm going to put pressure on him. Yes, so I'm making a connection. A lot of our brothers who are Shriners are not clear that the fest belongs to them by birthright. You also have 150 grotto temples. The ancient mystic order of the Barrel Prophets of the Enchanted Realm, established in Hamilton, New York in 1850. There's 150 of them in the country. They use Moorish names. The Shriners use Moorish names for their temples. The grottos use Moorish names for the temple. I have a picture of one of the monarchs, grand monarchs, at a grand monarch convention. And back, right here. Back cover. And guess what he's doing? Wearing our Moors Fest. And guess what he's doing? Islam. Now he's a grand monarch. Now guess what the Shriners' official greeting is? Look it up. The Shriners' official greeting is what? Assalamu alaikum. FBI, Homeland Security, CIA. They traded places with us. With FBI, CIA, Homeland Security, Justice Department, they're doing, the FBI is part of the Justice Department, is using negative propaganda. Attorney General, it's dangerous. It's dangerous what they're doing. It is dangerous what they're doing. They know what they're doing. We've got to take this seriously. I am putting out a newspaper with 50,000 copies. It's going to be distributed paper as well as electronically. They're playing this dangerous game. When they distribute this report from the Regional Organized Crime Information Center to all police departments all over the country, I've seen this when a cop sees your Moorish nationality card, or you start making statements, have a right to travel, or, probable cause, go probable cause. They see that as sovereign citizen language. Radio, sovereign citizen. So when a cop, they come in 5 deep. They come in 5 deep. Because they put out there that sovereign citizens kill cops. Sovereign citizens are anti-government. So you already know that's going to amp up a cop. They're driving to the scene already. They're already amped. Before they get to the scene, they're already amped. I'm talking like this. I ain't trying to scare no one. We got to be aware of what's going on. We cannot put our heads in the sand. It ain't going. You ain't going to wish it away. You ain't going to pray it away. We got to seriously address this. Our problem is we let it go too far long.
Islam.
We nationalized wars have let it go too long. They called any meeting time in 2011 paper terrorists. 8 years ago. We let it go too long. I'm leading the charge. I'm leading the charge. We got to seriously address it. I will write an open letter to the Attorney General. We have to seriously address this. We cannot bring in hundreds to millions by thousands, hundreds to millions by 100,000 to millions of our people under this scrutiny, under this surveillance, anti-government. Don't respect state and sovereign, state and federal law, domestic terrorists. FBI got us on the FBI counter-terrorist analysis team. FBI counter-terrorist analysis team got the Moors under surveillance. We have to address this. We let it go too long. Hoping, praying, wishing that it'll go away. That is the worst thing we can do. That is the worst thing. What did Tamara say to me yesterday? That Dr. King said what? Now let my people what? And Tamara said to me, we cannot lead our people into a burning building. That's why I'm addressing this, and I will continue addressing this. I have to address it with this fervor. We've got to take it seriously, because it's not going to go away. It'll get even worse if we don't address it. We can address it. We can address it. I'm addressing it with the paper and my large distribution. I got a distributor right here. And my distributor's right here tonight. Come out here, shake my hand, brother. One of my distributors in this territory. This is one of my distributors in this territory. One of my distributors in this territory. Raised in this territory. He knows the area. All right? I have another distributor. Do I have another distributor? I got another distributor. I got another distributor. I'm talking about this territory. I got another distributor. Do I have another distributor from Masonic Gate? Masonic Gate distributor. All right? Looking for Masonic Gate distributors. All right? Any questions, comments, criticism? I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, what is the distribution of?
We talked. He knows the area. He's going to put it in bookstores and restaurants and, paper straight. So
His question was, what is being distributed?
What are we distributing?
Oh, my newspaper called Masonic Gate. My newspaper called Masonic Gate that I put out in 2013. And I didn't put out an issue for 3 years because I was working on this book. So I'm reissuing the Masonic Gate newspaper. 8-page newspaper. All right? Electronically, as well as physical paper-wise, as far as the paper version. And also the electronic version. All right? So you can, all right?
So you need,
I need distributors. I need help. I'm asking for help.
help with proliferation.
And bookstores, restaurants, street corners, wherever you can. All right? So good. You're in Baltimore. Good. Ken, I connect you with Brother Ken. Brother Ken lives in Baltimore too. All right, good. You got that. So I got 2 more.
That's not a problem, bro.
All right, 2. I got another one. All right, good. All right, good. So we don't want the paper sitting.
No.
So you're going to write out a list. All right, so those who listen too, you write out a list of where you're going to put the papers. Right? If it's a barbershop, beauty salon, supermarket, restaurant, laundromat, all right? But, make sure that it's visible. Don't just throw them anywhere.
No.
All right? All right, so that's what I need. All right, so as many distributors as I can. And I write your name and number. Pass a sheet of paper, pass around. Pass a sheet of paper around, so the names and numbers. Thank you. Thank you for taking the lead on that, brother. Thank you. That's what I like. I'm done. That's all right. Take no leadership from that. Any questions? All right? Yes.
If those online would like to.
Yes, those online too. That's why I said, that's what I'm saying is,
Moors-MUURS-MOORISCH.
they can go to, no, they, online, etymology, right? Go etymology vocabulary at gmail.com. I'm gonna leave both. I'm gonna leave my phone number. I'll give both. Those online. 215-300-5471. That's my number. My website. Email. Etymology vocabulary at gmail.com. And I'll ask again, I know more people will be coming on. All right, this is important because I need distributors. So when I write the open letter, because what I'm doing is a strategy. I'm putting my distribution in place first before I write the open letter. Because this issue won't be the open letter. It'll be the issue after this one, which will be the 5th issue. I'm putting my distribution. Because remember, that paper had not been out in 3 years. So I'm putting my distribution in place. So when I write the open letter to the Attorney General, that this discussion has been sent out to over 100,000 people. All right? Because it's also electronically. All right? So it's a strategy, using number strategy. All right? Questions? So those online, 215-300-5471. Email me, or you can email me. Etymology, you can text me that you're interested, your name, and that you're interested in being a distributor. All right? And then also text or email me your name and you're interested in being a distributor. All right? And then, so we can do it electronically well. You can post it on your Facebook page, a link on your Facebook page. So we're going to do both. All right? Any other questions about the paper? Any questions about the paper? Anybody else? Dr. Naila, anybody have questions about the paper? Any questions about the paper? Yes.
I have a question about the paper. I wanted to know what the content of the paper is.
All right, good question. All right, let me first do the header. I have a new header. You can go to my etymology, Moors civil letter. To see the header, go to Moors civil letter. You can do it Facebook, my Facebook page, Moorish civil and letter. Moorish civil letter, that's my Facebook page. The header, the new header. And what I mean by the new header, I had the old header, just had more Masonic Gate. It's called Masonic Gate. The paper is called Masonic Gate. And I had the compass and square between Masonic and Gate. What I did was I added the Moors Fez, the Great Seal Pyramid, and the Moors flag to the header. All right, that's what I'm saying, the new header. All right? And why did I do that? No, that's not why I did that. What was the inspiration for me to add that to the header? The sovereign citizen misrepresentation. The Moors movement.
Because of the publication of
the Moors movement. Right, no, before I got this report. This is October 2017. October 2017, there was a misrepresentation that I was talking to someone, and they said they had been stopped by the cops, and they were referred to cop radio, sovereign citizen, and they came 5 deep. It was that conversation, so that led me to add that to the header. I wanted to make a clear connection. So now I have the Moors compass. The compass is square. The Moors Fez, the Great Seal, and it's labeled Moors Fez. The flag is labeled Moors flag. All right. So I'm doing everything I can, and out of this you have, Any ideas you have, let me know. So contents of the paper. I have two articles. I have two feature articles. The contents here will be Taj's article is titled "The Moorish Nationality, Birthright, and Moorish National Sovereignty Misrepresented as Sovereign Citizen Movement, Anti-Government, and Domestic Terrorists." That's going to be one of the feature articles. There will be two feature articles on the first page. It will have my article, and Todd's will be at the bottom, starting at the bottom on first page. My feature article is titled "The Inquisition, the Crusades and Spanish Inquisition against the Moors." The Crusades and Spanish Inquisition against the Moors. Moorish legacy, the stolen legacy of the Moorish estate. The stolen legacy of the Moorish estate. That's the main title of my main and subtitle. All right. Then I have underneath the title, I have the logo that the Shriners use, the mystic orders, the logo that they use, the Knights Templar, the Order of Christ, Knights of St. Stephen's, and Knights of Malta. These are knight orders that were established to fight against us. All right? Knights of St. Stephen's established in 1535. Order of Christ established in 15-something, because the Knight Order of Christ was in Portugal by King Dennis. King Dennis, what he did was the Knights Templar went underground, and they resurfaced as the Order of Christ in the 1500s. So I had I'm going to be able to draw them out. I'm going to draw them out. All right? Yes, Dr. Naila.
That's okay.
So that's satisfactory to you?
Yes, so this would be a explanation of how the Moors were defeated?
Yes, what I'm doing is, I have the light orders, all the light orders listed. I go into, thank you. Things I'm talking about tonight, about showing the connection. I explained that Donald Trump is the head of the Moorish nation. That Donald Trump wears two headdresses. That since 1789, the presidents of the United States have been wearing two headdresses. And something that Tamara suggested I add to show that that's not just Donald Trump. It didn't start with Donald Trump. That Donald Trump wearing two headdresses didn't start with him. So she told me to make the link back to 1789.
Yeah.
All right, George Washington, Right.
I saw the Moroccan flag, and it was dealing with Hillary Clinton. I think it was Benjamin Franklin. I'm not sure.
Yes, that's you right.
Yeah, with all that stuff, I saw the flag. I was blown away. I was blown away when I saw that flag in the White House, in one of the rooms of the White House, I should say. That's blew me away. It's like, didn't believe it was there. I never thought I would see it there.
All right, great. I'm glad you recognized Mother. All right. Dr. Naila, you said you have a question.
That's how it was responded to.
All right. Anyone else about the paper? Yes.
Not about the paper.
All right. All right, go ahead. You got it.
Getting back to the acting positions of the House and
I love it.
And the Senate.
Let me just do this, please? Let me do this real quick. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. That's all. I have to do that. Because it's clear. So he's showing that's what I'm saying. We have to talk like this. That's what I'm saying. That's why we have to talk like this. How he's expressing, this has to go presently all over the country. All over the country. We have to talk like this all over the country. We have to talk like him all over the country. Nationalizing Compton Moors have to talk like him all over the country. Like he said, they're acting. All right? There you go.
I wanted you to continue that, but also I'm looking at current events, and I'm seeing that you spoke about Homeland Security, and CIA. And as we see now, the heads are either resigning or getting fired. How does that play into the fact that it's an acting position that they're playing? And like you said earlier, these are positions that you referenced that only one, to your knowledge, is of Moorish.
Well, FBI is not part of the government, Moorish government.
Well,
So that's started by J. Edgar Hoover, you know, and Calvin Cleavage, you know, Coolidge.
and that's what I want to know. How is it playing itself out from your perspective in lines of what you were explaining?
No, what I was explaining is that the Moorish movement has been misrepresented
Right.
as a sovereign citizen movement, anti-government, and domestic terrorism. They're using, they have nationalized Moors under surveillance as if we're criminals, as if we're trying to take over the country, as if we're plotting, you know, as we're plotting, you know, to take over the country. You know, they gotta put the Moors on surveillance, you know, that type thing. But I'm saying that is bull. They know who we are. They're using propaganda. They know we're not trying to take over they know we're not trying to take over the country. The issue is reclaiming. Don't use the word takeover.
That's right.
Reclaim our birthright.
That's not really took place.
They took over the country.
Yes.
We can't take over. One, we're not in power. And then we are reclaiming. And we reclaiming it. This is our birthright. So they're using negative propaganda to frighten y'all. That's why I got to put the paper out.
Yep.
I didn't sleep. When that happened to Sharon, I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was up from 4 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. I said, Tamara, I'm putting it. I was going to wait till the book came, the other book come out. The How Her Moon and Venus came out. I was going to put the newspaper out in 3 months. I was going to put the How Moon and Venus came out. When that happened to Sharon, I said, I'm putting this paper out. I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was up from 4 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock in the night. I couldn't even sleep. I barely ate. I was on the phone calling. I said, I'm going to put this paper out. And I was like, I'm going to shoot for 100,000. We're going to put out 100,000 copies. I'm going to put 100,000 copies, all amped up. 100,000 copies. I was like, boom. That's why the paper's coming out. Now, I mean, it's going to come out anyway, but that's why it's coming out. Sooner than later. All right? Yes.
Islam, I just want to,
interject this, and I'm not sure if a lot of people know. You know, we all know about Sister Sharon because, you know, she's very visual on teaching and so forth online. But what a lot of us don't know is that there is another one of our sisters, Sister Abdullah Bey, who's also a consul who was kidnapped about a month before Sister Sharon in the Florida territory. Now, this sister was sending out writs of, habeas corpus, or she was doing writs to try to get 4 or 5 Moors who were on the consul and some weren't, who were kidnapped because they were occupying a property. As a result of her doing what she was doing as a consul, I think maybe I gave it to Grand Sheik. I had a whole transcript of what was being .org,
Which is fine.
and they figured out where, what her number was and backtraced. They say all this thing, and then they ended up going to her domicile in was February? In February, something about a month before whatever happened to Sister Sharon, and they kidnapped her, and she has been kidnapped a little longer. And I want us to at least send some energy to Sister Honora and know that there's stuff going on in the Land of Flowers too. You know what I mean? She was doing a lot of work down there. But it seems like, like I said, it's a full, and the mothers, it's the mothers. You see what I'm saying? The ones that are out the forefront. that are being put under attack. And so, like I said, I don't know as many people know about Sister Honora Bey in Florida territory,
Yes,
because
Lord.
she has been kidnapped for about a month longer than Sister Sharon, and it was because they charged her, I want to say, with terroristic threatening for putting in the writs to free the other brothers.
All right, now you see the misrepresentation of false legal documents, fake automobile tags. This is all in the report, the Regional Organized Crime Information Center Special Research Report. Defining paper terrorist as a term referring to the act of filing bogus legal actions against government officials. Well, they're sitting in the seat of the Moorish government because we are the actual power. And so the Moorish sovereignty resides with us, though they're exercising it. And so our inactivity, this is why we always say I'm active and not passive Moors. One of the things that Todd said to me in assisting the consular courts is that it was vital that we're active. You want us to be active. So we just have to continue to clarify the issue of what the Moorish nation is. They're misrepresenting it, but we have to make the connection, as the brother was saying, that they're acting senators or wazirs, the acting wazirs. Yeah, yes, brother.
Yeah, it's like you talking about putting out the paper. That's very important because that'll start the process of proliferation.
Thank you, brother.
In which we must proliferate. You know, we have to figure out how can we walk up to our brothers and sisters on the street and give them something or plant that seed. You know, we gotta plant that seed in them, and it's gotta be in their hands. It's gotta be in the barbershops and the stores. That's where it starts at. In the barbershops, the beauty salons. You know, that's proliferation. And then we gotta have so many of us supporting that document, you know, and letting people know that, you know, we just waking up. This is the awakening. This is the resurrection. This is the time to get up, you know, and reach out to the rest of our family members, because I can't talk to family members. And I recognize that the moment I start talking to them about this important issue, they start looking like they had a stroke. They twist their lips up, and it's going to be argument, you know, but they ain't hearing it. But when we had papers, we would put those papers in their hand.
I was about to say that. He read my mind. Thank you, brother, for reading my mind.
Thank you.
This is not my first merry-go-round. This is not my first rodeo. I worked with Almar and Star back in 2001, 2002, 2003. Our newspaper, Moorish Civil Letter, was a newsletter. I had almost 300 letters. I was an 8.5 by 11 newsletter that I put out back in 1995. That paper was sent. I didn't get any mail from sisters. I got letters from brothers in the Midwest, Western Pennsylvania, Baltimore area, and when we put out the newspaper, and also Taj's books, our books, that's 1 and 2. We sent the books and newspapers, and they started classes as a result of the books and the newspapers. How do I know? They go back. So I know that the paper has effect. The Side Gate was very popular. I did not stop the paper because it wasn't popular. I had to finish this. The paper was taking so much of my time. You're not going to have a problem distributing the paper, brother. Trust me. Eric, by Sirius, one of my distributors at Phoenix, used to live in Philadelphia, relocated to Phoenix, Arizona. He would pass out papers on the college campus and everything. And it's all of that. A lot of Masons, he connected with a lot of Masons. He's the stars. You're not gonna have a problem with the paper, bro. Trust me. You're not gonna have a problem with the paper. You have people whose family members are Eastern Stars and Masons. So they got out of curiosity. You're not gonna have a problem with distributing the paper, bro. Trust me.
Yes.
So that's not my first rodeo.
Yeah, that's what I recognize too. I don't even have a paper in my hand. And sometimes when I'm talking, people wake up and all of a sudden they know more than, we know. I mean, these are people who were early in the movement and for some reason fell back.
Yeah, they got discouraged.
They got discouraged because of all the propaganda. And those people coming with propaganda
Bang, bang.
in order to attack you guys, just like they attack all celebrities who
Bang, bang.
show any appreciation for this information, or either, who would want to embrace this. If you got some money and stuff, they're going to attack you,
Bang, bang. So the paper is one avenue. I think it's a major, because we're talking about setting up major distribution. It's going to be electronically as well. So it can be sent all over the world. Man, just hitting the button. Hit the button. It's sent. You can post it on Facebook page, email. I have people who have 30,000, 40,000, followers on Instagram pages. So I got connections. All right, so we're looking at, 500,000. Can we connect with 500,000 in a year, to 2 years? 1 million, 4 or 5 million. Can we do that?
Yeah.
All right?
Absolutely.
So we just have a goal and we do it. All right? Like I said, proliferation. Any other questions? I'm loving y'all just making my night. I love this. I love this. I love the support. And I knew I would get the support. I I appreciate the support and love. Appreciate it. All right? Any questions for point of clarification before I go on?
Can we get clarification on you mentioned the head title, Grand Wazir. Could you kind of go into some other
Yes.
titles that are a part of the
Yes.
the palace?
In my book, Masada Gate, I have that. All right. So we're going to start with Imperial, the ancient Arabic order of the Nobles of Mixture Shrine, now called Shrines International, used the term Imperial Divan. The Imperial Divan is now called the Presidential Cabinet. Presidential Cabinet. All right? Which is the Moorish Imperial Divan is now uses the substitute term Presidential Cabinet. So you have Presidential Cabinet, and the head of the Imperial Divan today is what? Donald Trump. Donald Trump. All right, Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is what? The acting what?
Executive.
He's the acting what?
Chief.
Grand
Grand
Wazir. Grand Wazir. He's the head Wazir. He's the acting head Wazir. All right? You have another term that's used, but not by Europeans here, Prime Minister. Prime and first minister. So Donald Trump is the acting Grand Wazir. So Donald Trump did what? He appointed other Wazirs. The other Wazirs were what? They were confirmed by the Senate.
Not with Donald Trump.
Huh?
Everybody's acting. Everybody's acting with Donald Trump.
All right. We can go. So they use the title what? Secretary. Secretary of State, Secretary of Treasurer, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Homeland Security, all right? So they're what? So they use the term secretary, they're what? So they're what? They're wazirs. They're wazirs. Or acting wazirs. Acting wazirs. And so they use the title secretary. So what I'm doing here is making the Moorish connection. So we have to do what? We have to clarify what the Moorish nation is. We can't have Moors. We can no longer have nationalized and conscious Moors thinking the Moorish nation is some organization. But I asked them what the Moorish nation is. And they're scratching their head and taking 100 years to answer. So we have to make the connection. So once again, the Moorish nation is the actual nation that's being run by the United States corporation in a trusteeship capacity. And Donald Trump is the head of what? The Moorish nation. He's the acting Grand Wazir. He wears two what? All right, that is, and there you go. Let's review. Let's review. All right. Any questions as to what I put on the board? As to what I just discussed, please.
So basically,
She got it. She got it. She got it.
That the
She got it. Because she's speaking with confidence.
Moorish nation was, or the United States corporation was patterned after the Moorish nation. So they just took what we taught and now they're applying it or
Yes.
to
And then,
or
right.
to their
Exactly.
operation.
Right. That means that when they didn't set the structure up.
Yes. That's our stuff. Yes.
Right. You got it. That's why we have to make the connection. We can no longer just say, Moorish nation. Because, see, all right, if I was talking to FBI or CIA and they're interrogating me, and I'll say, you know what there's Shriners, right? There's 206 shrine temples in the world. And where each shrine temple has a Moorish name. You're aware of that, right? Because you know what? There's 150 Grotto temples. And each Grotto temple has a Moorish name. You said I'm what? I'm a sovereign what? Moorish. So you're aware that Donald Trump sits in the seat of the Moorish Grand Wazir, that this is the Moorish government, that the Moorish nation is the actual name of this nation that you're under, and that this flag is that you're under. This is the national flag of this land that you're under. Europeans are part of the Moorish nation. You're part of the Moorish nation. I'm talking to FBI and CIA on that. You're part of the Moorish nation. As naturalized citizens. How'd I do, y'all? Make the connection. I ain't gonna let them think I don't know that what the Moorish nation is. Some, sovereign citizen organization and some religious organization, some sovereign citizen crap. And try to play dumb. They know what time it is. You ain't schooling them like you actually. Don't you ever think, and Todd would always say this, don't you ever think that they don't know. They don't play dumb with you. It's Moorish nation. It's sovereign citizen organization, anti government, terrorists, they will try to play dumb. And you think this man ain't gonna be wearing your face and you don't know who you are? Got to do all these shrines parades and Mr. Parades every year. You don't know who you are? That greeting is what? Assalamu alaikum. You're a Shriner, right? Now, you're European, right? European Shriner. Say assalamu alaikum. Excuse me. I just said assalamu alaikum to you. Excuse me. I just said assalamu alaikum to you. No, you take your phone out. You take your phone out and look up the Shriners official greeting. So you go to the Shriners charter, organizational charter, all right, and they go the Shriners official greeting, assalamu alaikum, and show them that. Now I just said your official greeting, assalamu alaikum, and you just looked at me like I was crazy. See, they thinking you're dumb. That's why we got to get the paper out. Because they're playing us like we're stupid.
Well, it's been going on for a while, so.
All right. Come
Well,
on.
like Brother Todd say, mums is the word.
Right. Which means silent whisper. Mom whispering, silent whisper. We're out to lunch. But they may not know. And you sitting around, they may not know. They may not know. You sitting around, man, please. Please. I know we get some clarity here now. We finally get some clarity on what this Moorish nation is now.
But there's a battle going on.
Hey, I want to know. We got no battle here. Ain't no battle here. So let's go. Bring it. Ain't no battle here. Let's bring it.
There's a battle going on.
Hey, bring it. Bring it battle. I'm ready. Bring it.
It's a serious battle.
Hey, bring it. They better come with knowledge now. And I know, that emotional bullcrap.
Okay, I'm not gonna call you out, Camilla Bay, but however, this battle is going on because I think there's clarification needed.
All right, good. That's about
You indicated that Donald Trump is the president of a foreign occupying corporation. I don't understand what he is talking about. And someone say, what about Canada? So that's the battle.
What about Canada?
Yes.
Because that's.
Well.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know. Because.
They are peasants.
No, I'm saying I don't know how that, because it's not clear for me to answer.
No. It's two questions. You
All right.
don't put them together.
All right.
Follow me.
It was talking about the what about Canada
First,
question.
number one, Donald Trump is the president of a foreign occupying corporation. I don't understand what he is talking about in saying that Donald Trump is in the trustee capacity of the Moorish nation.
All right. Good question. All right.
The second one
Give me a second.
is what about how does Canada apply to the Moorish nation?
All right, I can answer that. I got it. I can answer that. Let's go back to this. Once again, Donald Trump wears, and I'll clear it. Donald Trump wears two headdresses. The seat, the office, is the Moorish Oval Office. That's the Moorish Oval Office. Donald Trump, the seat and office is the Moorish Oval Office. The seat he sits in is the Moorish seat. He is President of the United States, but he also functions as the acting Moorish Grand Wazir, because he's wearing two headdresses at the same time at all times. He is president of a foreign corporation. He is president of that. That is true. But I'm saying the seat that he sits in, this foreign corporation, when they negotiate treaties with nations, states, that is not corporation power.
That's right.
Say it loud.
Corporations they are a corporation. I'm talking about the power the power to negotiate treaty, the power to set up embassies throughout the world, the power to send ambassadors and consuls, the power to receive ambassadors and consuls. That power, what power is that? The Moorish national sovereignty. So when you in Nigeria, France, England, the Netherlands, and you see United States consulate, United States embassy, that is Moorish national sovereignty being operated.
And they got a flag in there.
Right?
The Moorish flag.
No, I'm not even whether they had the, because the flag may not be in there, so I don't want to give up. Whether the flag, Moorish flag there is not. I'm talking about this, the power that they're wielding when they negotiate treaty, the power to sit in the Moorish Congress and to legislate. What they're wielding Moorish national sovereignty. Conscious nationalized, we're not there. I mean, conscious nationalized Moors are not there. This Moorish movement is what? Leading us to get there. It's a process. Because of the sellout is why it's taking so long. Because of J. Edgar Hoover is why it's taking so long. Because of the Nation of Islam, which is Master Fard Muhammad, Fard and Muhammad Elijah Paul Bey. Fard and Elijah Paul Bey, members of the Moorish Science Temple, Moorish movement, all right? They come up with this plot, the lie, that Fard will be the savior crap, look like a European. Same game that the Europeans playing. Put a European up there. Plot that Elijah Paul Bey and Fard came up with to have the European savior. And they had what? Savior's Day. Same game the Europeans been playing. Of European blonde hair, blue eyes. The savior, same thing. All right? And it's called Savior's Day. Daddy Grace, Father Dine, Bishop Cherry. That's part of the Moorish movement. The House of Prayer, Moorish movement. Nation of Islam, Moorish movement. The Hebrew Israelites, Moorish movement. Bishop Cherry, that's Moorish movement. That's the extension of the Moorish movement. That's not separate. Don't say it used to be. You can't. That's like you saying that used to be my daughter. You're not making sense. That used to be my son. You're not making sense. You sound silly. How can they used to be your daughter? How can they used to be your son? How can they used to be part of the Moorish movement? They still are. The Muslim Islam is not is part of the Moorish movement. Because they lie and telling the people, the true history, the connection. So, that they saying they lying. They're covering up. I ain't. All right? So thanks to them, that's their man. Sellouts. Hands are why I'm standing here right now. Why we having these classes, because if they didn't sell out, we won't be having these classes. Why? Because we be in power already. There will be no need for these classes. There will be no need for Moors Masonry. There will be no need for Silent Complex Square Road. There will be no need for these folks. Why? Because we would already been in power before I was born.
Yeah, like that great. That empire, that thing is humongous right now.
They sellouts.
They still, they agree.
House of Prayer, yes.
That church is so.
They got Camden got one.
My family is come from that.
Detroit got one. Detroit, Camden. Right on Broadway. Right on Broadway. Yes. coming to Canada. Well, let's talk about the area, the Moorish area.
May I say something?
That's part, yes,
May I say something for you, sorry?
please.
Ooh, Jamila, you want to help me out? I mean, it's so clear to me. I don't know how a lot of our Moors have not been able to see what has occurred and what must be done. We are so wrapped up in just simple words
I know she's gone.
that we're going to entangle ourselves with.
I know she's gone. Good point.
It's so simple. I mean, it is so simple. I learned that there's a saying, first in time, first in line. We were here first. And because someone come and usurp your land, that doesn't mean it's not your land anymore. It's still our land. And because they no longer wanted to occupy their home, that doesn't mean that they were not welcomed into our home. There's been a takeover. And if you look up the word usurp, you will see what that means.
Look it up. Look it up.
It's been a hostile takeover that has taken place. And we have to stop getting hung up in, because it's a fake corporation.
Google. Somebody Google.
Corporation is a very new term. So this hostile takeover has allowed them to grab our nation because there wasn't an agreement to be our trustee. We have to understand that. We did not agree for someone to govern us when we were already governing. So I can't understand why we still fighting over the simple words. And I'm a babe in this awakening to who I am in my being. And we have had I'm watching these fights. Are you in the temple or you're not in the temple? I mean, damn, are you in the dirt or you're not in the dirt? We got to get in the game.
She's making a good point.
You know, it's just so, it's sad. It really is. It's sad that we cannot see that I can help you take your chains off. I can help you take your chain. I'm talking about these mental chains we got going on. We can help each other take each other's chain off, but we just get so wrapped up in nonsense. My paper looks better than yours. My national card is better than yours. I mean, it's amazing.
She's not exaggerating either.
It's amazing. And you know, I have the fortunate opportunity to be able to reach out and learn from Brother Abdullah, to be at the seat of Grand Sheik. And I've learned some other people along the way, because what I've learned about them, they have been in this movement to set the foundation of our history, of who we are and our knowledge. But you have people who have said, okay, I'm going to unravel the knowledge of these contracts we in with our places of employment, with these birth certificates, unravel that, unbreak those chains. So there are people that have gotten skilled in specialty areas that must be undone. So we have to learn how to move and move and gravitate to those people. Say, okay, I have mastered this. These mortgages, these dead pledges we're going to get out of this, and this is how we're going to get out of it. And we have to support that foundation. And when that foundation comes to be not true, guess what we got to do? We got to learn how to have a gift of goodbye and let it fall and keep it moving, because we are on a move. We can't keep fighting one another. As we sit up here fighting one another, you know what they're doing? Still sitting in them seats comfortable. Still sitting in them seats comfortable. We'll never get our land back.
Design plan.
We'll never get our land back. On these terms, if we sitting up here fighting about the little petty stuff,
Right.
that's how it's taken. Sitting up here fighting one another. About who's going to go north and who's going to go south. And then we have to know, that, we have to know the curse. You have to know the curse in order to break the curse.
Yes.
So we got to really, really get in tune. And as I'm learning about the prophet, oh man, I'm amazed. I'm amazed at this man. I'm amazed at the work that he put out for us. And there's, I sit back and just watch and observe the others who are taking that same, and some ones that will derail you right on off the tracks. So I say all that to say, I'm watching this battle going on. And yes, it is a corporation in place. We did not give them permission to run our land. We did not. And that must be known. So I yield the floor.
I didn't want to cook it out and do the camera. You serve it first, real quick. You serve. Define you serve. Define you serve first. Give me a bite. We go define you serve first. Before you say anything about it, define you serve first. Define you serve first.
It's a verb. It means take a position of power or importance, illegally or by force.
Oh, to take in position or what? Or power.
A power or importance, illegally
Or by force. They usurped our government.
Usurpers.
For his own use. For his own use.
Brother, I don't care what use. I don't care for who use, whatever use, this left use, up, downtown use, they usurp our government. I don't care how they using it, left turn use, it's ours. Meaning that if they was even doing right by it, it's still ours. Meaning that I take your car, I clean it up, shine it up. Oh, I ain't gonna bother Abdullah, he's cleaning it up, shining it. What? It's your car. I mean, if you want to keep your own car and beat your own car, it's your car. If you want to take a hammer, a sledgehammer, and bang your car, so what? It's your car. Even though I can do a better job, so what? It's your car. I was just trying to make a point here that it's our government. Go ahead, brother. Thank you. Give him the mic, please.
Never mind. I warned you about me.
Because it's a flow, brother.
I forgot.
Because she used the word usurp, and I wanted him. I said, look up. I tell people to usurp. That's why I wanted to finish that point.
Okay.
Just trying to. Gotta write it down, brother. Gotta write it down.
Yeah, I got it. I did. I just turned my head around.
All right.
But understanding. It's like when we're talking to people and they'll say they understand when they really don't. And the only way to get true understanding is for us to get used to listening in the communication process, taking the notes, and doing the research before you come back with an answer of misunderstanding. If I say something and I know it's true, I just expect, if you don't understand, please go to the library, go to Google or somewhere and check what I told you. That's understanding. So then you can support me with understanding. I need that support. We'll need that support. We need everybody to get used to going and getting that information. You can go down to the library or get these books from whatever source. But at the library, get used to going there and finding them old books past 1800s. You'll have a better understanding.
But you know what, brother? Let me say this, brother. There's been quite a few nationalized that have been doing just that. There's been an upswing in study, upswing in more consciousness. There really has. I see a great upswing with this, as all this big paper coming out, because it's gonna have wide distribution. Right? And I said before, the paper was popular, bro. It really was. Alright?
Well,
And one more thing I
don't
want
see
to
that
say.
paper. I don't see you change the popularity, change, you know.
Right.
You know.
But one more thing I want to say is that the answer, like it's that old expression that if you want to hide something from us, what do?
They used to say, put it in the book.
Put it in a book. Everything is in the book.
But you know what
You know
you said?
what they say now?
Let me respond to that. Let me do a Taj Bay. Taj's response would be, if you give them something interesting that will inspire them to read,
Right.
they would read. You have to do something that inspires. They give them the same old BS, dry, hope.
But we the chefs now. We in the kitchen.
No. The point I'm making is, the people are reading now. They're being inspired to read.
Why? Because of people like Taj
Right.
on the internet.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so
I have to
when
agree. There's no doubt.
the blessing came when we go back and understand how corporations like HBO came to be, cable TV, how all those came into existence.
We got a question over here. We're gonna have. You got a question? We can't tie it.
So I feel that at this point, the prophet said that he's going to make them tell the truth. And at this point, the truth is being told. And we can use our discernment, our heart discernment, and we can actually know that it's not his story anymore, it's our story. So that's that's my portion of understanding of what's happening now and why we are in the process of reclaiming our land.
You have a question? What about you, brother? Right? I don't want to. We can't.
I'm sorry.
Process going.
And I just wanted to mention when the sister was speaking, I believe we just had to have unity consciousness. We have to have that unity instead of that separation and argument over moot points.
Yeah, because there it is. Because the Europeans we are under attack. I mean, they're using negative propaganda. This is serious, and we trivializing bullcrap. I want to say bullshit.
I just wanted to piggyback on what you said, Brother Islam. I just wanted to piggyback on what you said earlier about giving people something interesting to read. And it made me think about when I'm in the schools. And when I go to different grades, but when I go to the schools, I talk to the children to see how they feel, what they think about school, how they like it, this and this and that. And a lot of things that I hear from them is that this stuff is boring. I want to learn something new. I want to learn something interesting. I want to see people that look like me. And this was my 9th grade class when I first started substituting guest teaching, and this is what they would say to me. And I think it's really important too that all of us get on the same page, and I'm happy that more and more people are doing their part so that we can all unite. But even with this bickering or whatever's going on the live stream, we got to get it together for the children. Like, it's just that simple. Like, we have to stop with the I know more than you or this or that, or just humble yourself like, you know what, I did not know this. I'm sorry. Let me go look into something else that I didn't know before. I'm not always right, because if you know how the growth process goes, you're constantly learning new things. So like, if we don't get it together so that we can tell these children that's going to be here after us what to do and how to do this, then it's going to really be a problem, because it's been going on for how long? We let it go on too far, farther than we should have. So now we have to get this together as a whole, as adults now, so that we can pass on this information to the next generation below us, our children, our grandchildren, and all that. We just have to do it. Set all that extra stuff aside. and let's get clarity on these things. Okay, you didn't know. You don't study law. You don't study this Constitution. This is his area of mastery. This is what he's mastering. This is his area of expertise. We all have different areas of expertise that we know, and that we put this stuff together and make it whole, see the bigger picture. So like, this is what he do. So now I can get clarity on stuff that I was learning, because when I went to school, I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to learn how to free people through that system, but when I started to learn how corrupt it is and all that, I just like, I don't want to do that. But now that I have a better understanding of what I was learning before in college, it's like, wow, this is why. Now I can put the pieces to the puzzle why I even started and wanted to do that. Now I have a clarity on how I can actually really apply this to us and reclaim our birthrights. So, that's what we try to do there.
It's loud.
All right. I'm going to read this. There's another statement that's in this Moorish, this report here, this Regional Organized Crime Information Special Report. By claiming a Moorish nationality, members allegedly claim immunity from federal and state laws. Let me read it. By claiming a Moorish nationality, members allegedly claim immunity from federal and state law. That's a misrepresentation. Let's clarify. That's a misrepresentation. See? So when I write the Attorney General, that's one of the points I'm going to ask. What is your position on this? To clarify this. All right, it's misrepresentation. Claiming immunity from federal state laws. It's clearly a misrepresentation.
COINTELPRO in effect.
Yup. All right. So we have the race and ethnic standards. I'll put this on the board. Race. I'll just put here Census Bureau. The Census Bureau, all right, has classified the Moors as black, Negro, colored, African American, all right,
Afro-American, Latino,
That's way
Hispanic, Latino, all right, American Indian, all right. So, by claiming, so the issue is bringing our people to badness. Let me read what you Ali, Attorney General. This is what the Attorney General. The citizens of all free national governments are called, this is the divine warning. Divine warning by the prophets for the nations. This is Moorish literature. Moorish literature. Moorish Science Temple of America. Prophet Abdullah Bey, founder. This is the second presentment, an article, an editorial. Divine warning by the prophet for the nations. The citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family bearing one free national name. Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classed as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. And it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and claim to names and principles that allude to slavery. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and go back to that state of mind of their forefathers' divine and national principles, that they will be law abiders and receive their divine right as citizens according to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free nationals, beings. They are to claim their own free national name and religion. There is but one issue for them to be recognized by this government and of the earth and government of the earth, and comes only through the connection of the Moors Divine National Movement, which is incorporated in this government and recognized by all other nations of the world. Now, what is that? To warn our people to repent. What is the sinful ways? Though he's using what sin kind. What is the sinful ways that he wants the people to repent from?
From not
Claiming the national
law.
Calling themselves nigga,
Claiming
black,
the
and
national.
colored.
Yeah.
Calling
Love,
themselves
Negro, black, and colored.
That's a simple way.
That's a simple way.
And what about the claiming of your divine birthright?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm
Figure it
saying.
out.
That, yeah, once you declare your Moorish nationality, because that you're making a claim. You have to first declare your Moorish nationality, because the claim is in the pedigree, not in Negro, black, and colored. So the sinful ways, because remember, he's talking about a free national name. He put emphasis on a free. What is the free national name? What's the free national name? There you go.
What is it?
No, we not even get more American, Moorish American. I'm not, what did Tamara say? What did Tamara say? No, but let me say this, because this is what Tamara, we use every avenue to divide. We'll say, well, 'cause I've seen it, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not making something up. And I've heard this. I've seen this debate, and we get silly. We'll say, and I'm not saying that y'all doing that, so I gotta qualify, you're not doing that. We'll have more American, Moorish American. And we'll get in a heated debate and use that as a basis to not work together. I'm not exaggerating. I am not exaggerating. So when I said I wasn't trivializing it, I'm not even gonna get, because I'm piggybacking what Tamara said. I wasn't trivial. Is that we just piggyback. We got to move forward with unity, And I seen with nationalized Moors just get caught in this little things, and they blow it out of proportion. Meanwhile, the Europeans are shooting us down in the street. They got FBI counter-terrorist surveillance on us, as if we're anti-terrorists, and we're trivializing on stuff like this. That's what I'll say. That's why I'm not even going to make an issue of it. If you say more American, I'm going to clap for you. You say more American, I'm going to clap for you. I'm not even going to make an issue of that.
It don't matter.
Because I'm just not. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all. That's okay. That's right. Don't just call me black. Exactly. Yeah,
you familiar with the proclamation of the Rahm Emanuel?
Yes, you want to read it?
Yeah, you want to read it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You said it, so because other people may not be familiar. Yeah, Mike. No, why? Because other people may not be familiar with it. That's why. So we don't want to assume, because I'm familiar with it. I want to assume that everybody else is not. That everybody else is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we want to get people familiar with it.
Yes.
This is from the office of the mayor of the city of Chicago, Rahm Emanuel, mayor. Proclamation. Whereas the Moorish Americans are descendants of the ancient Moabites He said Amalekites and Canaanites, who were permitted by the old Pharaoh of Kemet to traverse the East Africa and later form themselves kingdoms extending from the northwest and southwest shores of Africa, the Atlantic islands onto the present day continental Americas. And whereas the indigenous Moor people of America are now united in order to again link themselves with their family of nations. And whereas the Moorish Americans, being aboriginal to the territories of North, Central, and South America, have formed a sovereign theocratic government guided by the command and principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice through the virtue of the universal right to self-determination, as well as with the declaration of the right of indigenous people guaranteed in the Charter. And whereas on January 8, 1886, Noble Drew Ali was born in the state of North Carolina, destined to become the first patriot of his mentally enslaved Moorish American people. In 1912, he was later anointed as El Hajj Sharif Abdullah Ali by the head of the Egypt and holy city of Mecca to return to the United States as the last prophet and founding father of the newly risen nation of Moorish Americans. As a result of the 13th Amendment, Moorish people were emancipated from slavery in 1865. Now, therefore, I, Ron Emanuel, Mayor of the City of Chicago, do hereby proclaim January 8th through the 15th, 2012, to be Moorish American Week in Chicago, and urge all residents to recognize the event planned for this time. Dated 22nd day of December 2011. And I want to add to that not only Rahm Emanuel did this, also the Pope put out a letter, as he wrote to President Obama, and he explains that Obama was the executive of a de facto government and thus setting us free. So we haven't gotten enough information. We haven't gotten fat enough on these proclamations. Therefore, we need a proliferation of information. It's on the way. Thanks to this brother Abdullah. We wait, brother.
That was good, bro. Thank you. If I have room, I might put that in the paper.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and when was
Yeah,
that?
I might put that in.
And when was that article published for police? And when was the article for the police published? The document?
2009.
And that was 9?
2009.
Okay.
Yes. There was.
So-
Yeah.
Oh,
Want to say it? Yes.
I think he had a question.
Oh, question? Yes. I'm sorry. Thank you. He has a question. Yeah, to recognize him first. Yeah, he's first. Are you want? You get water or something? All right.
You want the water?
She has some snacks over there too. Right? You got snacks? Question? No question?
You got a question?
Someone have a question about the
Yes.
2020 census.
What's
You know you only get like 100, I don't even know if you get 137 characters, so it's not gonna be a full question. So when someone says the 2020 census, kind of let's just fill in the blank.
Just give a little information
All
about
right.
the 2020 census, nationality, race codes, things of that nature.
What, can someone look up, please, 2020 census, what's the question, because it's question number 9, 2010 census. All right, I have the 2010 census here in this book. That's my book cover. That's one of my book covers that's coming out. Somebody look up the 2020 census, please. It's online. It's online. 2020 census. Somebody please Google. Someone Google.
Well, would there be a need for us to even fill out the census? Like, what is the need?
Because it's for their record
No,
keeping.
there's no need for us to do that.
Right.
But let me talk about the color of it.
Just
Well,
20
they
cents.
will
You said
label-
20 cents?
2020.
2020?
But they're gonna use that for propaganda.
What you want me to,
Black thing.
what is 2020?
The 2020 census.
Or 2020?
Yeah, 2020 census. I got the.
Is it the citizenship? What is that?
It says here that the United States Census, known as Census 2020, will be the 24th United States Census National Census Day, the reference day used for the census.
What's the race question? There's one. What's the book cover here?
You talking about this?
It's us in here. Oh, I thought I had it in here too. All right.
No, you're talking about, I know what you're talking about, here it is.
Yes.
Commerce and human trafficking
Guys,
disguised as race.
Yes. Question number 9.
What is,
All
what is persons not,
You're right on board.
I can read this.
Yeah, because it's first race.
Okay, is that first? Okay,
Yes.
what is person's first race? And it said mark 1 or more. How do you mark 1 or more? Okay, but anyway, mark 1 or more boxes. And the first one is say white. The second one is say black, African, American, or Negro. The third box say African Indian or Alaska Native. Please print name of enrolled or principal tribe. Okay. Next one say Asian Indian, Japanese, Native Hawaiian, Chinese, Korean, Filipino, Vietnamese, Somalian, other Asian, print race, for example, Thai, Cambodian, Pakistan, other Pacific Islander, print race, for example, Taiwan, and so on.
All right, put the American. Can't write fast enough.
Oh, I'm sorry, you writing that?
No, go ahead. No, I'm writing. I'm looking. Continue talking. Continue talking, so I can write some of this down.
I'm done.
All right. American Indian or
You have
Alaska.
on here, COM plus MERS, MERCE, and the etymology of the word MERS is trade.
All right, here we go. So they have Asian Indian, Chinese. Did you find the 20? You find the 2020 census, brother? The 2020 census. No one found the 2020 census. Korean, Vietnamese. All right, what do you see already? What do you see? What's the issue with this here question? All right, the question is, what is person's first race? A race. Is Chinese a race?
No,
All right. Is Korean a race?
no,
Japanese a race?
no.
So what is Japanese? What is Korean? What is Chinese? What is Vietnamese?
Brands,
Huh?
brands.
Brand.
Label?
Chinese is a brand. Japanese is a brand. Vietnamese is a brand. Japanese is not nationality? Chinese is not nationality, Vietnamese.
Yep.
Yeah,
On nationality.
Because you threw me when you said brands. That's you threw me. You said brands.
Black is a brand.
Yeah, I was saying, but I wasn't asking about black. I said Chinese.
Right, that's nationality.
I said, what is Chinese? What is Vietnamese? What is Korean? What is Japanese? What are these?
These are the nationalities.
All right, all right, that's, we got thrown here. Somebody said brand. Heard of brand, somebody said brand. All right, let me talk. We got thrown here. All right.
All right, the question is Chinese a race? You say no. Japanese a race? You say no. Korean a race? Look where they have it. They have Chinese, Japanese, under the race question.
The hijack.
They have it in the same question as white, black, African American, Negro. Chinese, Japanese, Filipino, Korean, Vietnamese, Guamanian, Samoan are in the same question as black, African American, Negro, and white. You want to fill that out?
They will.
No, so do you have the 20? All right, so no problem.
Mine's not even full.
I got, something.
All right, so what they've done, they're in the Census Bureau, there are race codes, 1, 01, 02, and so forth. And at each nationality, they have a list of nationalities under various race codes. They're not called nationality codes. Why are they using race? Why are they using the word race for nationality?
So you can hijack the Moors Nation.
So they have race codes. It's called race codes. It's not
What's
called
a code? That's what
codes.
it
They're
is.
called race codes.
It's a statute.
Why isn't it called? Why isn't it called nationality codes?
You can't sell that.
Because they were creating a new status of, they were social engineering the people.
Absolutely.
So it's a social construct, and they created codes in order for us to break the law, get away from the law, to put us under codes and statutes. So we would obey them, and enslave ourselves voluntarily by checking that box.
And it's also under the Census Bureau, which is the human trafficking. Commerce Department. Commerce means trade. So why is data that's collected, for the people, collected by the Census Bureau, which is part of the Commerce Department?
Because they monitoring the people, because in the first census, they would have put us in there as white people because we were landowners. So in the first census, they went around and...
Why is it the Commerce Department though? Commerce Department.
Because we are under the Admiralty.
It's human trafficking. Human trafficking. They're practicing human trafficking. That's why it is
Under trade.
Commerce Department. The census comes out of the Commerce Department.
Because they're creating
They're
chattel
commodities.
profit.
They're commodities. They're
They're
commodities.
creating chattel.
They're commodities. It's commodities. We're commodities.
But what about the
stock
chattel
market?
part?
Dr. Nayala, yes. I wanted to
I've got,
clarify because he's throwing a lot of stuff out. So I gotta clarify stuff he's throwing out. So
the combined, I don't know if this is the recommended for 2020, combined race and ethnicity that you're talking about, but like you said, they have white, and then they have 6 boxes, German, Italian, Irish, Polish, English, French, and then they have a place where you can write in something.
what was that?
Census.
What census?
It's like the recommended 2020.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I didn't, cause yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hispanic, then they have a Hispanic, these are the general, Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish, then they under that Mexican or Mexican American, Salvadoran, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban, Colombia, or place to write in something. Black or African American, then they have African American, Nigerian, Jamaican, Ethiopian, Haitian, Somali or something to put in. Asian.
They expanded it.
Yeah, but Chinese, Vietnamese, Filipino, Korean, Asian, Indian, and Japanese in a space for something different than American Indian or Alaskan Native, and just a place to write in. And they have it, for instance, Navajo Nation, Blackfeet tribes, Mayan, Aztec, Native villagers, Middle Eastern and North African. They have Lebanese, Syrian, Iranian, Moroccan,
It's more extensive than
Egyptian, and Israeli. So Moroccan is under there. And then Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander, Native Hawaiian, Tongan, Samoan, Fijian, Chamorro, whatever that is, and Marshallese, and place to write in. And then then it says some other race or ethnicity, print details. But then it says that the Trump administration at this point has not approved anything different than what was in the 2010 census.
Oh, he hasn't approved anything different what's in the, and then it's in the 2010 census.
This must be what they had proposed. It says
They
draft.
propose it, it's a draft,
It's a
they're
draft.
proposing it. All right.
Because
So they're looking to go back and to use this same structure for the 2010 census. Because that hasn't been approved, you're saying?
This has it says draft.
yeah,
All
they're
right.
saying in March 2018 that President Trump's administration is asking the census of application that it be approved to include if you are a United States citizen or not. So it looks like he's also asking for that. I guess that's because when they were doing the voting, it was so many people that were coming in that were aliens or, not from this country that were having the ability to vote to change, their election.
aliens by whom definition? What definition?
By the corporation.
Yes, definition.
Yes.
All right.
Definition.
Yeah, I just wanted to say
Yes.
aliens. I mean, yeah, by who? Yeah, because they wouldn't be aliens.
Mhm.
They wouldn't be aliens, and that's the issue here, is that we are the sovereign authority,
And they
though we don't have the sovereign seats right now. So the benefits to Europeans
Yes,
in Europe,
and everywhere.
yes. So they brought in the early 1900s. They used our national sovereignty, immigration laws.
Yeah.
All right, they exercised Bush national sovereignty, immigration laws, and those immigration laws benefited Europeans. Now, Donald Trump is not, and his policy does not have anywhere where Polish or Russians are being sent back. There's no policy on the Donald Trump administration where in the 1900s, millions, out Island, but he has policies for what? Mexicans, and Asians, and, So you see where I'm going with this.
I want to know what happened to the time when me and you were counted as one in the census.
Who's me and you?
I'm saying
it's
they
too far.
classified us as blacks, or back then they didn't classify us as blacks. They classified us as colored.
Back then, when? What's back then?
In the 60s.
No, we was black, classified black too, brother. First was black or more. So let's start. That's all right. The first classification was Spanish. So that's Spanish. 1567. It was Spanish first. All right? No, we're Moors. I said first classification.
What was the other?
No, Moor wouldn't be a classification for us. Moor is who we are. They Philip II classified us as Spanish. Spanish. In 1567. Then you had Europeans who called us blackamoors in the 1300s, 13, 14, 1500s. How do I know this? J. Rogers' book, Nature Knows Her Color Line, chapter 6. The Negro as Moor and European, the Negro as Moor and European ancestry. He has dictionary references dating back to the 13, 14, 1500s, where blackamoor is in various languages. So it's Spanish first. Then also Caesareans, you had blackamoors. So your Europeans would they'll say somebody like my complexion, they'll say blackamoor. And then they'll eventually say black.
But we didn't call ourselves that.
No, once again, brother, the Europeans, I never said the Moors.
Right, I'm just saying the negative. You put black.
No, you said, you were saying we didn't call ourselves that. But I'm saying I've never said that.
And I never said you did.
All right. I was like, where'd that come from?
They put that negative on us.
Right, I'm saying what I was doing is I'm leading up to where I'm leading up. I want to be clear that they first classified us as black, because the assumption is that the Europeans classified us as black first. It was Spanish. Then they were calling us blackamoors. It wasn't black first. It was blackamoor. They didn't jump to where Moor and then start calling the Moors black. That's not true. It's not true. It's blackamoor. 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 And then they dropped Moor and then black. Then now it's calling us, classified us as black. But the first it was blackamoor. People are not aware of that. A lot of nationalized Moors aren't aware of that. And it's in J. Rogers' book, chapter 6. It has dictionary references. These are dictionary references. And you'll see that blackamoor in various Dutch language, French language, Portuguese language. You'll see blackamoor. And it was Europeans all throughout Europe. You know, they'll see, blackamoor. You know, they'll call someone real dark. He was darker than me. Blackamoor. They'll say someone light out of tawny moor. So they'll start using, separation. Using it as description. To think, well, they'll say, well, he's a tawny moor. Like, blackamoor, tawny moor. Blackamoor, tawny moor. This is part of the history. So now they're just saying, what they'll do now. Europeans will say, black. Black. They don't even say, tawny moor, blackamoor anymore. Tawny moor, blackamoor. What do they say? Black. They'll say black to him, they'll say black to her. Now, because Europeans won't say light skin, that's us. That's an argument. Don't just say Europeans. We say light skin or dark skin. Europeans are not going to say that. They will say black. But we'll say light skin, black, and whatever. But Europeans will say black. All right, gotta understand the social engineering. Yes.
I have a question. While we're on the race and quote-unquote race and stuff. A couple years ago, I found this picture, and it had pictures of
us. And it had descriptions at the bottom. And it had European underneath a picture that looked like us. And I think it said copper color. I can't find that picture to save my life.
And
right
European
now. I've been
and
looking
copper
for this
color.
picture since I saw it, and I can't find it. Can you?
What other words it had? It was just European.
No, I just remember that specific. No, it was a whole bunch, but it was
Because
was different versions of us.
What did it say, copper?
Yeah.
see, I'm trying to respond to something that I'm
European
trying.
underneath that picture too.
Well, see, we the first Europeans,
Right.
we the copper people,
They
we
said
the
copper
Etruscans,
colored people.
we're the first everything. You know, we go from east to west to north to south before
Yeah.
the
So
hijack.
he's right on that. We are the Etruscans. We are the Greeks. We're the Etruscans. We're the Romans. We're the Roman soldiers. We're the Roman senators.
Rome.
That's what he's saying. Yes, we are that. You have Blacks in Antiquity by Frank Snowden, when he shows the ancient people of Greece, statues, figurines, models, and he also shows these fake busts. Like you see these fake busts
With the head.
with Europeans, fake busts, like they like look modern, clean looking. Like when you see busts of us, it's like it looks old. When you see busts of Europeans, they look shiny and like new. Right. Right. You'll see statuettes of us with the nose cut off, lips. In Greece.
France.
Look at the Greeks. The Greeks, they have what? Dark hair, dark eyes. What about the complexion? Exactly. About the Portuguese. So, because what we're doing, we look at things through false lenses. That's what our problem is. I mean, the false lens is the false history that we learn in schools. We analyze based on a false history.
Yeah, I want to say that if they call anything they call us, it's all of us. And what's going on with us now?
But why we gotta keep answering?
Huh? No, what I'm saying is, we don't have to answer, but I was talking about the positive, like when she mentioned copper. The reason why we were copper people is because there are copper mines running up and down the
Upper Great Lakes region.
yes, all the regions.
Yes.
And that's what
Upper
we were.
Great
Wherever
Lakes
you find
region.
copper, you're gonna find us. That we the copper people. You know, so but we suffer right now from PTSD. You know, we've been through trauma. And the symptoms for that is avoidance. Our people want to avoid the truth. You know, we gotta train to think about the health issues of our people. You know, they're disturbed by what we are saying because they suffering. You know.
Once again, we got to address the negative propaganda, though, brother, because the FBI, that counter-terrorist surveillance analysis, is that the European colonists' position is to invoke fear in conscious Moors, people like yourself, and to invoke fear into unconscious Moors so that they will not be inspired to be involved in this Moors movement. They know what they're doing, and I'm going to write it like that, in that subject matter like that, to the Attorney General. That we know what they're doing. We know that with this propaganda, I'm going to know, let the Attorney General know that I'm aware of what that report was geared to do. So they wouldn't inspire. Because once they see, this floodgate. All right, so we got to address this. This is serious. They're going to use their media arm.
You know, they're going to use all their media, all that they have. They're going to throw everything at us. Everything they have at us. Everything they have at us. All the media. All they have at us. They'll put that negative out there. Negative. Terrorists. Anti-government. Don't respect law. They're going to put that out there. What are we going to do? They're going to do it. What are we going to do? I'm not trying to fight them. We have to talk about it. The worst thing we can do. The worst thing we can do is not discuss it.
Avoid it.
Exactly. That's the worst thing we can do. The hope, the wish and pray this goes away. When they radio sovereign citizen, they're coming guns blazing.
Okay, that was what I was going to ask you about. What would be your suggestion? Because all of us in here understand that there is a rogue government in place due to the unum sanctum policy and Spanish Inquisition. All of us understand that. Under Barack Obama's presidency, we saw in 8 years, probably 10 Moorish young men get shot in the streets in their cars with their wives and children by commercial mercenaries. We saw all of that. We can name some of them, whether they were in the media or not. Philip Castiles of the world, Trayvon Martins, etc.
Can someone ask you?
Due to the name, due to the subject matter that you just spoke about, sovereign citizen title, and the Black Identity Extremist title that they're putting on the Moorish nation and the Moorish movement, what would you consider?
He came in late. Someone answer him, please. Yeah, answer him. You came in late. Answer him.
I did come in late.
Answer him. Can you answer him, please? Because he wants me to say, what is my solution? What am I going to do?
Well,
I thought about it, y'all.
Just suggestions.
Yeah, I talked about it.
Not just.
Didn't I talk about it? Because he came in late. So can somebody inform him what I'm doing?
Distributed papers.
That's what I'm asking. Can somebody inform him? That's
I heard you speak about the paper.
Well, that's the answer.
I was talking about some of the collective responses ideas that we could go out and implement.
Can someone answer him? I'm still answering, please. That's answer him. The paper.
Proliferation
The
of
paper.
education.
The newspaper.
I understand what you're saying about the paper.
Hold on, brother. Hold on.
Let me get my question out, Mr. Abdullah.
But
Let me get my question out. I understand what you're saying about the paper, but with more specificity, there are brothers who don't know how to communicate, and sisters. When we are pulled over, what is it that we can do, communicado-wise? What is it that we can do with intelligence or information at that ground level wherein confrontation could be coming about?
My answer is not going to change, brother. I'm going to give you the same answer. I'm going to give you the same answer.
None of us in here are Black identity extremists.
I'm going to give you this. Can I ask you, brother, please?
Absolutely.
Please. So give me the opportunity to answer. With the newspaper. It's not my first rodeo. I worked with newspapers since 2001. With the newspaper and mass distribution, electronically, paper-wise, and actually printed paper, it's going to raise consciousness and connect with a lot of Eastern stars and Masons who are already organized. They have a network. Masons and Eastern stars have a nationwide network already in place.
I have a lot of connections. It's going to expand through the paper. I'm setting up distribution, big time distribution. And what that will do is bring more consciousness and more unity. It'll bring more clarity to what this Moorish movement is. That's my answer. That's why I was saying y'all could have answered that.
Spread the information.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all could have answered that. That's why I wasn't. So when I gave the mic, when I gave y'all the mic, I said, because he came in late. I know he came in late. So I was saying, can y'all answer that? Y'all could have answered that.
But I don't want to say piggy bank, but when you're speaking to someone that is illiterate, that cannot read, when you're talking to someone that doesn't have an understanding, can't disseminate the information and comprehend the information that's being put out, and they're stopped. So at the point when they're stopped tomorrow,
No,
like before.
all right.
So I guess he's saying, like, what's your stance? How are you standing on your square?
No, what
Like,
I'm saying is, sister, I know I heard about the stop, because you used that as an example.
Right.
The stop. All right. How do we address that overall?
Overall.
Not
Picture.
tomorrow, not just talking about tomorrow, is we have to organize these people. So it stops altogether.
First.
It stops altogether.
Okay. So
They have, the FBI, that report out there,
yes.
under the guidance, leadership, and funding from the Justice Department, they have classified the Moorish nation as a sovereign citizen movement.
They know
No.
they're not, but they know this.
No,
They
I know.
like just based on the proclamations that's in Chicago and here in Philadelphia, like they know it. So how do we get
I'm
down?
saying, I know the cops got that report. When they hear sovereign citizen, a cop radio sovereign citizen, in that cop's mind, they kill cops, cop killers. Don't respect law enforcement. As Chetwood said, Superintendent of Police, Chitwood, Superintendent of Police, Upper Darby, they're very, very violent. Abdullah, how do you address that? Newspaper with mass distribution, electronically, all right, print-wise, and an open letter to the Attorney General, CCing to the Secretary of Defense, FBI, head of FBI, Homeland Security, CIA, and so forth. I'm not going to do the open letter now because I'm setting my distribution back up in place because it's been a thing that has not been out for about 3 years. So I'm setting my distribution up. So when I put the paper out, I'm going to let the Attorney General know that that report has been disseminated to over 100,000 people in our community. It's a strategy.
Yeah.
So I'm not.
I'm sorry. But
Please listen. Let me finish. Please listen. Let me finish. We want microwave, quick fix. I'm not talking quick fix. I'm saying setting this thing up, putting a strategy, having a delegation go meet the Attorney General, an open letter, paper out, set the distribution up, open letter, send a delegation. You want me to give you a quick fix, tomorrow answer type thing? As if they're not going to radio sovereign citizen, you show your nationality card. So, Abdullah, how can I prevent them tomorrow night from stop saying sovereign citizen? I can't give you the answer. So you say tomorrow night. I can't.
Cause you mentioned tomorrow. No, I'm telling you. I said
I
you.
did, I said tomorrow, because in my
All right, tomorrow.
understanding,
I'm saying-
all of those people know who we are.
Sister, you can say that all you want. I'm
They-
talking about those cops. They're really on sovereign citizen.
So I can understand the paper dribbling down to the cop's mind. So
Yes.
he should read it to know who we are. If it gets to the regular citizen, that's a police officer, or a regular citizen that's in that position that are stopping us, can know the difference between the lies that was told and the truth that they read. And then it'll be a different.
Sister, we're talking about where their mind is right now, sister.
Well,
Yeah.
now
Their
we're talking
mind
about-
right now, this
But
second.
now we're talking about
This
right
second.
now.
This not talking about their mind this second. How do we address their mindset this second? All right? How do we address that? It's a process.
Slow.
Right.
But it's not as slow as you think.
Well, I mean, you know, I
You
just,
put
I mean,
the newspaper out there. You got a generation that is so intelligent, that is off the chain. And once these new generations get hold of the newspaper and they realize who they are, because I had to realize who I was. I didn't know who I was until I came here. And, you know, people still call me black, nigger, African American, and I have to correct them. And then after I correct them, then they say, oh, okay, well, we can't talk to her like that because she's not going to respond. So then when you start distributing the newspaper and you start putting out all of this valuable information, and this new generation gets it, they're very determined.
That's what I
And
see.
they're going to take it and they're
That's
going to
what- that's what I
run with
see.
it. And it's going to be a whole new ball game. It's not going to, see, we still have this mentality that's different from their mentality. This new generation's mentality is off the hook, because if it wasn't for my kids, I wouldn't be here today. And they're
I
still
agree with
telling
you.
me, go, go, go. And this is the new generation. So they get hold of that newspaper, it's going to change. And it's going to change quick. Because they're fast. They're fast.
I don't disagree with you. I
They're
never,
fast.
in fact, I wasn't even thinking slow, so I'm
They're
with
quick.
you.
We gotta understand that weeds grow too.
We have to.
But I'm saying, I just said, weeds grow fast too.
Yeah, I see.
And so, we like farmers. He's, planting seeds. That paper is the seed. And we are going to have to be out in the field, because I'll be listening to some Moors, and they be talking about, we ain't going to the streets. If they want it, they gotta come up in here.
See that now? See that bullcrap mentality?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
Now, see that bullcrap mentality? And we got to change that.
yeah.
It's
I
still
believe that it's changing. So it's just my.
But that's what I'm saying, as a
my
farmer,
portion of
why?
understanding, it
Hold on,
is
let's
changing.
hold on, she has her hand up, so I gotta recognize her. I gotta recognize her hand up first.
It's
Okay.
possible.
Going back to what the brother, and I understand the library, and the newspaper and passing that out. For some reason, it feels like I don't think he got the answer that he was looking for. I'm not sure if that is correct, but I feel that. And I kind of also understand what he's saying, because, okay, so you got us, you got the Moors who already know they're Moors, and they are communicating properly. Like, I watched a compilation of some very knowledgeable Moors who got stopped, and they know what they're talking about. They're talking the talk, they walk the walk. They're giving the information, and you can see how the cops who know us or may not know us are just plain like disregarding everything they're saying and bashing the windows in, like you said, or killing them. So I think he's saying in that instance, how do we prevent that? What do you do when I understand the newspapers, you gotta get people on the same page. We gotta plant them seeds. We have to make sure that they have the knowledge so they can communicate this properly. But it's not just us that we're dealing with. We're dealing with the cops who call in sovereign citizen who don't know probably jack crap about what they're saying, right? So all they see is what terrorists, or whatever they call us on the paper. So I feel like he's saying, what do we do in case that happens? In a particular situation like that, where we're communicating properly, we have all the identification, you have your nationality card, you have your vessel, all that together.
I got you. All right, I'm gonna give you the same answer. I'm gonna give you the same answer.
So the
So,
newspaper
I'm gonna give you
is going to stop.
No, I didn't say don't.
Turn your cell phone on, brother. That's all you can do if you
No, I'm not.
That's how
I didn't
I'm
know. I'm not.
compilations.
Hear me out. No, please.
call somebody.
Can I speak, please? Can I speak? Can I speak? Thank you. I don't want you to trivialize what I'm saying. You want quick microwave. What I'm saying with the newspaper, I'm not talking about tomorrow, I'm talking about tonight, I'm talking about a strategy where we can address the FBI counter and terrorist surveillance on us. How do we address that? It can't be done tomorrow. It can't be done next week. It has such a strategy you have to have in place. So I'm setting my distribution up like I had before and even much wider. And from there, put out an open letter, print out 100,000 papers in the 5th issue, electronically and print-wise. A strategy to address that. It cannot be addressed tomorrow and to next week.
I think there's a word called collateral damage. We're gonna incur that.
So basically, once that happens in this time frame, with patience, and that happens when we address it and all that. So will this be like something that they will talk to their cops about, like things like that? It's like a trickle down effect where they'll talk to
the plan is to have the Attorney General retract that report. We're going to set up a delegation to meet with the Attorney General. We're going to open dialogue. The letter will be I'm going to CC the letter to the FBI, Homeland Security Secretary. All right, I'm putting a delegation. Todd will be part of my delegation. We're going to put a delegation in place to address this. It's a process.
So
I cannot give you a once microwave answer.
No, it's for clarity.
Well, what if? I'm saying it's no till then. It's no till then nothing. I'm saying all I'm doing is giving you my strategy that I'm having. You can do the till then, it's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to happen next week. It's going to happen 2 weeks from now. All right? It's already in their head.
Yep.
Right. It's in their head already. All over the country. County level, state level, county level, municipality is in their head.
And they're not going to stop.
All right. So I'm saying that I am a practical thinker. I don't think microwave.
But this is 2 subjects. Your paper versus them harassing black people, profiling. So that's part of the damage that's already done. We gotta grow through this.
Yeah, you just for clarity with the objective of actually getting a delegation together, going to the Attorney General, having him. So I was
separate. I want to separate that. This man thought. Look, can I say something? Because you were here, brothers, all of a sudden get locked up. Now all of a sudden, I want to know how to be a Moor so I can get out of this court charges.
it's too late. You're gonna, no, I'm saying that when people get in trouble, now, all of a sudden, you wanna know about how to get out of it
I see
by
that
being
too.
a Moor.
I see that too.
But that's
No, I'm not saying that.
No, he's not saying he's saying that. No,
I'm saying at that moment in time, the brother gotta deal with that. You know, you just gotta deal with certain issues and not trying to be all aggressive and fighting these folks. I mean, you on the spot. You could leave in a body bag, you know, messing with them people. You know, getting out of right, but it's nothing. The paper is to plant seeds, but we definitely have to know how to be wise as serpents
There you go.
and gentle as doves.
There you go.
So like basically choose the battle.
let me say this, y'all. Let me say this. When I put out the paper in 2013, 2014, 2015, Masons, I was on, Masons from all over the country were calling me. Why? They are, Masons and Eastern Stars are part, they are part of a larger network. When we bring consciousness among our brothers and sisters or Masons and Stars, the paper will move quickly among them. I have Masonic connections that will post the paper on Masonic, which I can't do. I can't do what they can do. You have to be a member and have to have a code. They will post it on Masonic Facebook pages, with all Masons from different parts of the world will see it. When my Masonic connection, the reason why this book is out instead of the Moors and Masonry Part 2, is because of my Masonic connection in North Carolina, North Carolina. I was working on Moors in 2016. I was working on Moors and Masonry Part 2. That's Part 2 of this book. I sent him the book cover. I sent him this, the PDF file book cover. He posted on a Masonic, which I can't do. He posted on his Masonic Facebook page, Masons from Canada, France, Germany, Japan saw this. They were so hyped about the book. He called me and said, "Man, when is that book coming out?" Well, you know, I'm working on Moors and Masonry Part 2, and you know, when I get Moors and Masonry Part 2 done, then I'll, you know, nah, man, you need to put that out next. I can't post something on the Masonic Facebook page, but he could. If I had continued with the paper, we would be having this conversation. If I had never stopped the newspaper, the question you ask me now, you would never be asking. Why? I would have had distribution to the Gazoo, well, you name it. I'm the staff. I was the staff. You look at the staff. I was the staff back then. And I was also working on this. So I had to put it to the side.
You need administration.
Well, I'm just saying, I need distributors.
I'm saying not just you, but we need the.
I have Tamara working with me.
But that's why we need administration.
I got it.
I built that. Not just you. You got it. I don't got no administrators. I need administration myself.
Well, you got to get people under you.
That's right. That's why I'm here.
Yes. So these are good points. You know, I ain't dodging no questions. I mean, you know, I'm answering them, you know.
Mr. Abdullah, my question wasn't to create any disturbance.
You didn't create no disturbance, though. So let me stop you. I'm gonna stop you, brother. Let me stop you because you said something. You said my question was not. So let me stop you there before you go on. You didn't create any disturbance.
I wanted to.
So don't. You didn't use the word apologize. You didn't use the word apologize, but your tone is apologetic. There's nothing to apologize, brother. Sure. I appreciate you.
Sure.
Don't use the apologetic tone.
I came here.
Thank you.
I came here tonight because I wanted to see you. I used to work with you at William Wilson. I don't know if you remember.
I told over 5,000 students, like I got a book coming out, 5,000 students in Kansas City Public School. And he's one of the, but no, he's one of the work co-workers. I told over 500 co-workers too, Europeans and Asiatics.
But nonetheless, I just wanted to acknowledge you tonight. I wanted to see you. And my question came from my heart with sincerity. And
Don't do that, brother. Please, don't do that. I hear you're doing it again. You're doing the apologetic tone. Don't qualify you, brother. I didn't take the question as something bad. It was great. So don't use any apologetic tones. Don't apologize. Don't use an apologetic tone, brother.
I didn't think that I was apologizing.
Yeah, you with the tone. You use an apologetic tone. You came from the heart. You don't have to say all that.
My tone is a tone of acknowledgement. And I just wanted to ask that question and say my piece.
Oh, great question. Yes. Thank you.
Plan to support your material. Plan to support your material. Thank you.
The names?
Yeah, the names and the numbers.
You have it? I don't have anything, brother. Our name, distributors. Put your name on the, who has a piece of paper? Yeah, put your name where you're going to be, if you, can you put your name, sign the book? You have it, you want to be distributors for the paper. Before you leave, sign the book. Alright, I got your name and number. Got your name and number? Name and number? Alright, good. Please.
I'm gonna let you hold on.
I don't need the book, I just need the paper, piece of paper.
Okay.
Just give me the sheet of paper.
You got my number already too, right?
I got your number, I got yours. I got you. Alright, what time is it?
10:31.
I got it, yeah. Alright, so we're gonna, hey brother, we're gonna wrap it up, let's wrap it up. Alright, so, I trust I did some good. Alright, trust I did some good. And I do have a plan in place. And I don't have a microwave mentality, I just don't.
It's not gonna work for this situation. It's not gonna work.
I just don't have that, you know.
It's already set in motion. How you
Right.
stop something that's set in motion?
You not like that, you're not. You know, I'm not going to give y'all some false expectations. I'm not going to do that. I don't do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say, oh yeah, tomorrow they're going to stop. Or next week, or next month. I'm not going to do that. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to say that to you. I'm not going to say something that's going to appease you for the moment. You know, well, Abdullah said, you know what I mean, they're going to stop next week. I'm not going to do that. Because that's not realistic. It's not realistic. You know, we got to be real. All right? On that, I'll end. You go to MOORS-MUURS-MOORISCH for the books. The newspaper called Masonic Gate. You go to my, what I go to donate. Where you go to donate? Etymology vocabulary at gmail.com. Etymology vocabulary, that's my PayPal email, etymology vocabulary at gmail.com. Do it in front of the camera. Do it in front of the camera. All right, so with that, I'll end. Peace.